opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barber's Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I am your host, Scott Lewis. It is Monday, April 7th, 2025. We have got a packed show for y'all on deck today. A whole bunch of stuff to get into. NBA, NFL, MLB, everything under the sun, man. So we appreciate y'all watching. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, man. But of course, follow me at Barber Chair Scott on all social media platforms. Follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on all social media platforms as well. Follow our partners, H&B Media, and at H&B Media TV on Twitter, and at H&B Media on Instagram, man. Of course, subscribe to our Patreon, man, patreon.com/Barber's Chat Network. We've got 4 different tiers on there, man, but you can subscribe to the $5 I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier to get the third show of the week. We now do a midweek show each and every Wednesday, man, which is Patreon exclusive. You can get that by subscribing to the $5 tier, or you can get that for subscribing to the $10 Barber Chair Access tier, which includes that and everything that we do over at the Barber's Chair Network Patreon. And if you subscribe to that, you get 25% off on your first order at the Barber's Chair Network shop. That is the bcnetshop.com. We've got a special shirt dropping for all the Bears fans right before the draft. The draft is about 2.5 weeks now, so very, very close for that drop, man. So a lot of stuff to get into. We're gonna bring in my my crew right now to start the show, man. We've got the one and only JR Bang. You can follow Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. We got Courtney in the house. You can follow her at 1-800-Callabro on all social media platforms. And we got the homie Tosin there. Of course, it is Monday. Tosin, I know you got a new at name. Tell them where to follow you at. Oh, we got to hit him with the fine. We got to hit him with the fine. So
damn, I started off terrible.
There we go.
It's Tosin M with a 0 instead of the O because somebody stole that. So yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So follow Tosin over there, man. We got a whole bunch of stuff to get into. I had my first Premier League week this week. I set my alarm very early to watch Arsenal have a damn draw. I still don't understand the concept of that, even though they have it in the NFL too. I don't know why you don't do some penalty kick shootout because it's ridiculous.
Scott,
yeah.
What you need to do is you need to go on Google, look up who are you? You're Arsenal, right? You need to look up Arsenal bars in Chicago. I will know you are serious when you are going to the bar.
I'm not even going to a Bears bar to watch. I don't want to see. I want to see it in the comfort of my house.
No. But you got to experience the environment of being around a bunch of other hooligans who are also degenerate Arsenal fans.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do that on my next trip.
Is incredible. It is incredible.
I believe you. I 100% believe. I'm gonna do that next time I go.
Waking up early to go watch the World Cup, it was unreal. It was unreal.
Well, the last time I actually paid attention to the World Cup was actually a very eventful day. Me and Pavy will tell that story on Patreon one day. But I don't know why they don't do a you know how they do in like the cup games where you need a winner. Why they don't do that for the regular? I'm pretty sure there's an actual answer for that. But I was like, if I paid money for this, I'd be more irritated. Like yesterday, I think it was the Manchester game, both Manchester games. And I feel like all the fans just left like, well, you know, that just happens. Like, so
Scott, that's the most American shit you said to me in the very end.
I know. I was just like, what is this? Like, I obviously I know what a draw and a tie is, but I was watching. I felt very empty at the end of that game.
Yeah, well, listen, that's why we soulless, and that's why we up at 6. Why you think we so angry? You think you know how many times I've woken up at 7 o'clock? Listen, 2013, I watched Man United play preseason in China at 2 o'clock in the morning. So we ain't got no sense. We have no sense whatsoever. So you get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, and I know how aggressive football, I'm calling European football, so we can have a difference between NFL and everything, how the fans are, because I've received threats on Twitter just for picking Arsenal. Like, you enemies now.
Like to the toxicity. Like, I'd say footy Twitter is probably the worst, and that's just because it's international. Like, you're getting hate from every corner of the world. NBA Twitter is a very close second, followed by NFL Twitter, and then MLB Twitter, and then NHL Twitter.
I'm gonna say NFL Twitter is better than NBA Twitter, because NBA Twitter is a whole bunch of idiots who don't know nothing about the sport. NFL Twitter is threats, not to the level of footy Twitter, but there's threats to NFL Twitter. Go ahead, those.
I think wrestling Twitter and soccer Twitter are up there.
He said, "Nigga."
I mean, what's up with wrestling? What's wrong with wrestling Twitter? Let me know.
Everything. You got a bunch of incels just arguing all day. Like, everything is wrong with them.
I just want to make sure,
because a scripted show is crazy.
Because we do have a podcast on the Barbershop Network that talks about a scripted show. Make sure y'all listen to First Black Champ.
First Black Champ, which is out right now. New episode
which is out right now. However, no, I don't be on wrestling Twitter having arguments. All I think of them niggas is virgins. He's not on Reddit. Yeah, I'm not doing all that shit. I got kids. I got a wife. I have sex. I'm not doing all that shit. Anytime I see them, anytime I see people be arguing about wrestling on Twitter, I just automatically assume that they're virgins.
Yeah. By the way, before we properly start, I told Scott this story, right? When I was a kid in London, like, this is when the peak of Arsenal and United, when they were like really hating each other.
Yeah, blood you, as I found out.
This is 97 till about 2001. We literally fought during recess. Like, niggas literally would like fight like before and after school, during school, because of Arsenal and United. Like, this is 7, 8, 9-year-olds doing this, fighting each other over the sport. And I'm like, yo, now I'm an adult. I'm like, this is the stupidest shit in the world. You send your kid to go to school to learn, the kid's over here body slamming the kid because Arsenal. So,
and I told Tosin, the only time I've been close to that is when I lived in Indiana for 2 years, and I pushed this kid with saying fuck Michael Jordan. He was a Pacers fan. I was like, not on my watch. Not during these times. 97, when it was just when I didn't think that any other team was supposed to win. I was born 1999 came, and that was the first parade we didn't have. And I thought this was like an annual thing. Like, oh boy, brought down to reality very quickly. Okay. But yeah, first week watching it, first full week watching it, I enjoyed a lot of the games. And but yeah, I don't understand. I understand the tower, I get it, but you know, tomorrow is my first Champions League experience. And when I tweeted that, everybody was like, God bless. Playing Real Madrid, God bless.
You about to see Satan work.
They said, you know how Mahomes has the black magic? This is times 30. I was like, okay, well, I'm preparing for an L tomorrow, man. But bang, Courtney, how was y'all weekend?
It was great. It was great. He went to work, came home with the child of God.
Oh, you know, no popping out this weekend?
No. Maybe once. But I was home at a responsible hour. Nothing good happens.
Yeah, that's very true. Bang, how about you?
I was drunk.
You always know a Bang drinking and it's not celebratory drink when you go on his Instagram when it's a bottle of tequila on the table. That's how you know.
No, it was. No, it was my goddaughter's birthday, her 8th birthday. So me, the wife, the kids went to her soccer game. We didn't realize how cold it was going to be. So we went out there. It was cold. We got back to the crib. By the time it was time to drink as grown folks, we did that. But apparently I overdid it. Funniest thing is apparently my son told my wife, like, man, daddy's drunk. And I say, man, stop bitching. Your daddy was drunk with me. Like, stop bitching. Your daddy was drunk with me all the time. It's a rite of passage, nigga.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I'm sore. Like, I am still sore. Like, I feel like because I said that he whooped my ass or something while I was asleep. Because I didn't throw up or nothing, but my ribs, it feels like somebody whooped my ass. And I know I didn't fight nobody.
Yeah, well, once you get to a certain age, like what's the age you think when drinking stops being fun? Like the repercussions of it. Like I'd say probably 30 is where it slowly starts.
It was 35. It was 35 for me because my 30th, oh Lord. But 35.
Yeah, now I got a game plan. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a especially with certain people. Well, if I'm kicking it with, like, shout out my man Damien in the chat, I got to plan out. Like, I'm kicking with this nigga in a couple weeks. I got to plan out with my how I'm gonna bounce back.
As a new 30-year-old, let me tell you, it's like a fucking light switch flipped.
Yes.
I don't know what happened. And like, it's important for me. I went to Arizona State, okay? Like, I'm not, I say that because it's important. I'm not new to this. So it's crazy. It just hit me. I can have like 2 glasses of wine now, and I'm like, I wake up the next day like, fuck, why do I have a headache? When did this happen? I used to take down a bottle of wine, and it was no big deal. What happened?
Orlando said in the chat, Bang is at the age where he needs to drink Metamucil, not liquor.
Nah, I will beat your ass, Orlando. Fuck is you talking about?
You heard me on the show yesterday.
You heard me on the show yesterday. I just got my verse back. I just got my voice back, and it might crack a little bit, but I'm still that nigga up here. Don't get it twisted, my nigga.
Well, the Chicago nigga said, what's called? Fuck you talking about? He's very serious.
When Scott and I linked, Scott was asleep because he was.
That night, nigga. Oh my god. See, this night was so loose. Like, first of all, I'm with you and Serge. These niggas was, I think we was on Weed Shop. Like, I don't know if I think we was in Brooklyn or something. I think we was in Brooklyn.
We in Brooklyn, ended up in Manhattan.
Yeah, we ended up in Manhattan. Yeah, that's how I know, because y'all went inside the Weed Shop and my head is pounding, bro. I'm talking about, like, feel like Shaq is just knocking me out. So I walk into that 7-Eleven next door. So I grab me some Excedrin real quick. So I'm outside waiting for y'all to come out. And I see the Empire State Building. I'm like, nigga, how we get to Manhattan? Like, I was like, weren't we just in Brooklyn? Now I looked at my IG stories the next morning. We in Brooklyn. I'm on a corner. We all knew we were eating that pizza outside. I'm on a corner with a bottle of Casamigos in broad daylight. And there's a police across the street. I'm like, man, fuck police, nigga. We turned up. I'm like, oh, that's how it happened. Like, that was a wild night. I think that was also the same weekend we randomly ended up at like some Afro Beats party. Me and Serge got to his apartment and like threw up outside. When remember that Forgot About Drake video when Eminem is tripping over the garbage can? That was Serge. And and then like maybe 2 hours later, Serge just is like, there's some guy downstairs named Pavy. He says he knows you. I was like, oh yeah, let that nigga in. So yeah, good time. I was knocked out, bro, because we was in that spot. I forgot what place I was slumped, bro.
Yeah, you were asleep. You were like literally just went to sleep. Grown ass man sleep.
Knocked out. So my man Thomas calls me slump guy because I fell asleep. And like when I first moved to LA, I was peak sleeping in the club years. I was not clean out at this spot in Santa Monica one time. It was just, that's how I got the name. I was always falling asleep. But can't do that no more. I definitely can't do that no more. But let's get into some of our early topics here, man. We got to talk about the history that was made last night in New York, actually, where the Washington Capitals played the Islanders, and Mr. Alex Ovechkin broke the all-time goals record held by one and only Wayne Gretzky with 895, passing Gretzky's 894. And they did it in the same number of games. That was the first stat I looked up. Like, okay, who did it quicker? Same number of games, which is actually incredible. To see that being broke. I never thought we see, first of all, any of Gretzky's records. You want to talk about GOATs for any sport. Gretzky probably has the biggest gap between him and the next person out of any of the sports. Well, I don't know. I did my research on Messi this weekend too, and Jesus Christ. There might be a gap between him and other niggas too. But that's what I saw from this. And so that was actually dope to see. We saw LeBron break Kareem's record 2 years ago. I'm going to give the floor to Courtney. She is our resident hockey specialist here. Tell us about this special moment that happened last night.
Yeah, so it's like you said, it's kind of funny, right? It's almost like the universe and kismet happened that they scored the same amount of goals in the same amount of games, especially considering Ovi didn't play in that lockout that happened that year. He would have gotten drafted a year earlier. So this very well could have happened a year sooner. But yeah, this is crazy moment for hockey. Also, did you know that Wayne Gretzky actually scored his final goal? So his 894th goal was actually scored against the Islanders as well.
Oh, wow.
Fun fact. Yeah. The universe.
That is actually a fun fact.
Yeah, and the goalie that played last night, or that it was actually yesterday in the afternoon. I say that like I wasn't up at like 10 o'clock in the fucking morning getting ready to watch this damn game. But yeah, the goalie was the last goalie that was active that he hasn't scored on yet. So that's a fun little fact. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that this is a complicated legacy, right? That I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about. I think it's a little disappointing, especially in this current climate that we're in, to see not too much talk about his very complicated relationship. And it's not really that complicated. They're buddies, his relationship with Putin. I think we got to talk about that in terms of his legacy. Yeah, the greatest goal scorer of all time, right? But like, what else is he? What else? Great goal scorer, maybe not a great person. So I think
he's also Russian.
Yeah, but like there's other NHL stars who have been pretty vocal about their dissent for Putin, right? Artemi Panarin plays for the Rangers. He was like, yeah.
Shout out my man Bread Man. Shout out to original Black Hawk. Yeah.
But yeah, he's been vocal about it. So I feel like it's almost a cop out when he's like, oh, I'm not political, I'm an athlete. But then when he goes back home, he's in the pictures at dinners, state dinners, and it's
all of the videos.
Very, very weird. So like, congrats on the record, but you're not a good person.
You say you're not a good. There's a lot of athletes like that. I mean, we had one. You got him and Gretzky dapping each other up. One's a Putin lover, the other's a Trump lover.
Correct. And so it's funny that you say that because, and I think about like how different the reaction and the celebration and everything could have been different if maybe he scored the goal somewhere else, right? Like there was talk about him possibly scoring that goal on the Canadian leg of the road trip. Like imagine if he had done that in like Winnipeg, right? Also, I think it's just, I like my job, so I'm not going to get too crazy. But I find it interesting, an interesting idea to have the current FBI director in the same box with Gary Bettman, the commissioner. Anyway, I think that's a very interesting choice. The people in Canada are now referring to Wayne Gretzky as the great once and not the great one anymore. He is falling out of favor very quickly with a lot of people.
Do you want to know what my GOAT was doing this weekend?
And it's unfortunate because, what'd you say?
You want to know what my GOAT was doing this weekend?
What?
You see a video of Michael Jordan asking him to play Not Like Us?
Oh, Not Like Us? Yeah, that was. And he doesn't even like rap music, right?
He don't even like rap. That's the funny thing. He don't even like rap.
Jordan was dropping 45, 50 on niggas' head listening to Nita Baker.
Yes. They'll show you how much of a psycho he is. But Tosin, I want to get you said you had something to say about the Ovechkin ties. Go ahead.
Yeah, so obviously I grew up in Baltimore, not DMV, different place, but we watched a lot of
before you go, can you explain why it's not the DMV? Because every time I say that, Baltimore people ready to cut me out.
I bet I'm explaining. So the Maryland part, right? DC is the main place, right? Yeah. But the Maryland part is Montgomery County and PG County, and then the VA's part is Northern Virginia. Difference is that Baltimore, we have a different area code, we have a different slang. We talk differently. They love mumbo sauce. We don't do that over in Baltimore. That's not what we do. So it's like two different cultures. Like saying you're from Brooklyn or the Bronx. Literally, what it is. You're in the same New York, but you just like different. So basically, is the same animal but different beast. Effectively, they listen to go-go music. We listen to Baltimore club music. So we're two different people completely.
Gotcha.
We got 410. Yeah, we got 410 numbers, 443 numbers. They got 301, 240. So it's like two different cultures out there. Yeah. So
shout out to the homegirl. Shout out to the homegirl Rita, the gridiron girl. She said the same thing. That's Baltimore, not DMV.
We are not the same. Yeah. I don't have many nights in DC, so I know that place very well. But so what I was saying, back in the day in Baltimore, like when I moved in 2001, like obviously still trying to get used to like slang and everything. So like one of the first commercials I saw were the Easter Motor commercials. And these are like legendary. Like Carmelo Anthony had one, LeVar Arrington had one, Clinton Portis. Like if you were basically that nigga in your sport, in football and anything else, like you got an Easter Motors commercial. Carmelo got 2 Range Rovers from them, but the first time I ever knew Ovechkin was because of the Easter Motors commercial. And I saw this Russian dude could speak no English, like just broken ass English. Like, who is this? Then I watched hockey and I was like, oh, he's nice. So to see him 21 years later still playing and like breaking records, like, damn, am I old or is he old? Because how are you still playing? So that shit still blows my mind that Ovechkin's still around. But
I want to play the Ovechkin video in question. Let's roll that one, Nikhil.
Easter Motors, your job, you're created. Easter Motors, your job, you're created. Ford Hondas, Beamers, and minivans, over 600 cars, trucks, subs. Are you listening, man? Can you give me some shots vodka, please?
I just wonder why they have him.
Your job, you're created.
Oh, because there was this whole campaign about him trying to play for the formerly known Redskins.
Formerly known the Washington racial slurs.
Yeah.
This is nuts.
It's going to be on YouTube for sure. For sure, man. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. So that's the legendary Maryland commercials. Shout out to Easter Motors.
Bang, do we got any legendary Chicago commercials? We seen it. They have any Bears hang out with Eagle Man?
Hell yeah. You had the Scottie Pippen.
The Scottie Pippen Mr. Sub commercial.
Mr. Sub commercial. Michael Jordan with his mom Duncan.
And it ended up being the nigga that was really his mama Duncan. Yeah, that's crazy commercial.
Being the nigga. Scottie Pippen like zipping, like that shit was funny to the motherfucker. Those are the 3 ones involving athletes that I can remember right off the bat. Scottie Pippen like zipping, the Scottie Pippen Mr. Sub commercial, and the Mike when his mom was dunking, but it was a nigga that dunked for her.
Or as he's affectionately known in the Chicagoland area, no tipping Pippen. Because that nigga doesn't tip when he goes out, is what he's been called out here in the Chicagoland area. But speaking of one team who, one person who's great but might have murky politics, let's go to the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are the reigning World Series champions. They are, I think they lost this past weekend to the Phillies. But we all know how great they're going to be, continue great they're going to be. They met with our current president, Donald Trump, at the White House today. And Nikhil, we have one of these pictures from look at this. Okay, so Mookie Betts, for those of you who don't know, did not go in 2018 after the Boston Red Sox won the World Series. He did say he regretted it, and he decided to go this time with his teammates. Now, for those of you who are listening to the podcast version and you can't see what this picture is, it's basically Donald Trump. It feels like he's trying to little bro Mookie, where like he's shaking his hand but holding his arm at the same time. Now, if you watch the video, he shouts Mookie out and then just like goes out of his way to have this interaction, which we all know Trump is an egomaniac, amongst other things. he knows that Mookie didn't go there the first time that the Red Sox won. So he had to point him out. And outside the fact he knew absolutely nothing about baseball, which is funny because he knows absolutely nothing about anything. Just look at the stock market this morning. This was something that I was disappointed, but I get. And this is why I'm going to say why I get. I'm not disappointed in the team. There's a lot of white people on this team. And Shohei Ohtani looked very, very geeked to meet President Trump. Now, he's not from here. Maybe I'm just going to leave it that. Maybe trying to get his man's a pardon. I don't know. But that really wasn't shocking to me. I was kind of disappointed Mookie went anyway. But at the same time, I get it because it's a team. Maybe he wanted to be a stand-up teammate, whatever. You look at the facial reaction from him, doesn't look like he wanted to be there. So I understand that. I do believe like a lot of teams this time in Trump's second term are going to be a little bit more open to going to the White House. So I don't have too much opinion on it. I wish they'd have turned it down, but at the same time, none of these things and none of these people who want to be around this massive idiot really shocked me at this point. Now, Courtney, you said you had a point that tied originally to your Ovechkin take, so I'm gonna give you the floor.
Yeah, kind of like what I was saying about Ovi and Gretzky, right? Like, obviously, we know that you're incredibly talented, right? But like, what do you want your legacy as an athlete to be? Is a conversation that I don't think that, because now the talk about Mookie going to the White House is, oh, I'm so disappointed he didn't use his platform. You know, we're not having that conversation about white athletes. We all, like, I still have question marks about where Blake Trinan was on January 6th. Like, I know for Clayton Kershaw, love you, my guy.
Clayton was cheesing, boy.
You from Highland Park. You're from 10 minutes from me. I've been through that. I've been through that neighborhood. I have an idea, right? But like, I just don't love the conversation and the pressure that this Black athlete is kind of being pigeonholed into. Like, why does he have to be the one, you know, to speak up and stand out? Why can't somebody else speak up and stand out? You know, I don't love that. We overwhelmingly voted against that regime, but we're forced into it anyway. So why does he have to be the one to say something?
I mean, Courtney, you raised a very, very valid point. And I think that also goes into the why the Black people have to fix everything. We see with everything. I mean, this is not a political show. I don't want to spend too much time with this, but it's kind of like the same people who voted for this man and are saying, "Where's Kamala at?" Well, nigga, man, all this could have been changed months ago. But that's just how I feel about that. Bang Tosin, any points on this? If not, we can move on.
Everybody's kissing the ring. It is what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't be tripping off of shit like this mainly because there's a lot of niggas that went to the White House with presidents they don't like. There's a lot of niggas that didn't like Reagan. Them niggas was there. A lot of niggas didn't like Clinton. Them niggas was there. Bush, same shit. All this shit is just a photo op and all of that shit. So it's no harm, no foul. But he did try to.
There's some harm foul when there's a fucking baseball team in the White House when copper futures are down 8%. Brother, we're focusing on the wrong stuff right now.
I mean, again, I feel you, but you go look at niggas during the Reagan administration and it was just as bad. I just looked at my 401k. I don't even give a fuck about this goddamn topic. I just saw my 401k. Give a fuck about these niggas at the goddamn White House.
That's what I'm saying.
And the only reason why I looked at it because I was like, oh shit, y'all talking about this shit? Let me go look. And I just showed my wife, like, God damn. So now I don't give a fuck about because they ain't got to worry about what I got to worry about. So, hey, more power to you. I just looked at my shit and I damn near fainted. So yeah.
Let's move on to actual sports, man. Mr. Shedeur Sanders, Mr. Travis Hunter, they just had their pro day this past Friday at Colorado. Shout out to Coach Prime, just got that new extension. And things are looking up for one, and maybe things are looking up for the other. So Travis Hunter, right now, this is after Coach Prime said that he expects one of his sons, or as he calls Travis, to be going number 2 to the Cleveland Browns, and today we learned that it's probably going to be Travis Hunter, as it sounds like the Browns have zeroed in on him. Really sounds like the top 3 in the draft is really starting to come into fruition. Daniel Jeremiah said today on Kay Adams' show that the Titans are all about Cam Ward, and it looks like he's going to be number 1. The Browns are zooming in on Travis Hunter. But also, it kind of feels like 2/3 of Abdul Carter is going to be going to the Jets. Not Jets, but the Giants. But then you got Shedeur. Kind of feels like Shedeur's stock is dropping a little bit. And he's even been pegged to teams like Courtney's New Orleans Saints and also the Pittsburgh Steelers. The whole Shedeur thing, first of all, I love Shedeur's confidence. I loved his interview with ESPN and Louis Riddick. And it just feels like he's ready to go no matter where he goes. But I did hate the conversation on the patting the ball thing, which had sparked a big online debate between a lot of NFL players and fans, where I forgot the cornerback's name. I think he played for the Jaguars last year. He saw Shedeur patting the ball, and he said, oh, that's going to get picked off next year. He better cut that out. Darius Slayton for the New York Giants looked out for him, said, no, if that was the case, corners would all have 8 interceptions a year. Balls like that still beat dudes. And I love this response from one Bears fan. The tight end, the corner who said that, he said, here's a video of Caleb Williams patting the ball 3 times and throwing a touchdown on you in London as Cole Kmet put an elbow on your face. That, to me, is the most hilarious response to all this. Michael Parsons got involved. And to me, it's a stupid argument. And it also shows you that people who play the game can also be just as dumb as the ones who don't play the game. And I feel I'm rooting for Shedeur. Number one, I hope he doesn't drop too far, but it really feels like we're not going to get the appropriate grade for what his pro day was, because I really feel like you either pro Shedeur or you're not. We have some people who said, oh, the zip on the ball he threw was amazing. The accuracy was amazing. He is league ready now. It's been like a little bit of a mixed bag from what we are seeing. So, but it does feel like things are going in the right direction for Travis Hunter. Bang, I want to start with you. What did you hear? What do you think about the reaction to the pro day? And we all know you said this is a weak quarterback draft. You would go vet over any of these guys. But what did the pro day reaction say to you about Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders' futures?
So first off, I watched the pro day. And during the beginning of his run, the short passes came out wobbly. It wasn't no zip on some of those, but his deep ball looked amazing. His deep balls were and this is a pause, all this shit. The deep balls he threw,
crazy.
The deep balls that he threw was the best ones that he threw throughout the practice. It showed amazing accuracy. It was clean. Those was clean and crisp, but the short passes came out a little bit wobbly. With that being said, I'm pro Shedeur. I'm just saying that I don't think that this draft is very strong, and I don't think that it's going to be any stars at the quarterback position at this draft. However, what I've been noticing and what the media has been saying is that the NFL is starting to embrace that mid-tier QB a little bit. And I think that's where we are with these quarterbacks. Cam Ward, I think he's not – I mean, look, we can say all we want to. I don't think he's going to be special. I don't think that Shedeur is going to be special. I think these are going to be 2 quarterbacks that have long careers, though. With that being said, that's also why I think all of this shit is overblown. It was a damn pro day, and we talking about patting the ball. It's a damn pro day, fam. Like, what are we talking about here? I don't want to sound like Allen Iverson with practice, but this is a pro day. A pro day, they're not looking at him patting the ball. They're looking and see how the ball come out. They're looking at to see the deep ball. They're looking at all of the things that they really didn't get to see because of the way things went down to Colorado. And then also, shouts out to my man Mike Golick. Mike Golick, like, yo, it's easy for you to look a certain way when they have the shorts on. I want to see you in your private workout, and I want to see you when you get the mini camp and see how all of those things that you might have saw in pro day. If you like that person, you're probably going to get rid of them, or at least start to get rid of them by the time that rookie mini camp start, when you get that time with your QB coach and your offensive coordinator. And then when you get to OTAs, and then when you get to training camp, that's when you start working on some of those bad habits that may have come out. So Buddy Ass just wanted to tweet some shit out so he could have something to say. And that's why his ass got sunned. But at the end of the day, we're talking about pro day. Now, as far as him dropping, I've been saying on this podcast that I got a feeling that he was going to drop. I even said that he might get the Aaron Rodgers drop. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But I don't see the New Orleans Saints not picking him at 9. If he drops past 9, that would shock and surprise me, because I think that's when we get the Aaron Rodgers drop and you see a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers going to grab him. But I don't think he get past 9.
I want to pivot to Travis real quick. Tosin, what do you? This is perfectly in your division, right? In the AFC North, with the Cleveland Browns. Like, we already know they have a big issue at quarterback. Freaky Sean is injured. Jameis is going over to New York. Don't really know who their quarterback is going to be. We've heard Kirk Cousins rumors could be a thing. But now they look like they're zeroing on Travis Hunter. How does Travis Hunter really work in Cleveland, at least right now? I feel like for him, he needs to go to a spot that can help him right away. And I just don't think that Cleveland has the infrastructure for him, especially without a quarterback, if they're going to be going mainly wide receiver.
I mean, he's going to be catching balls from DTR, because who else is their quarterback? Unless they're trade up.
Ain't there. Tosin, about I'm not saying this. There have been murmurings about Kenny Pickett QB1. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah, because DTR ain't there no more. DTR's in Philadelphia.
Oh, he is in Philly.
Gross. I mean, there are also rumors that they're going to trade up for Shedeur. So, I mean, maybe they get both Travis and Shedeur. But either way, I mean, go ahead, Courtney.
No, it's funny that you say that, because I was thinking about that earlier. Would they do something that's fucking stupid? Excuse me, that's stupid. Because if you think Shedeur is valuable enough, then why don't you just take him at 2, right?
Because Travis is that guy.
But where would the Browns trade up? And you're correct. You're correct. I would take Travis Hunter over Shedeur Sanders. But like, where would you trade up to justify the picks that you have to give up in order to acquire Shedeur Sanders?
She makes Shedeur make Travis happy by getting this guy. That's the justification for it. I mean, for me, look, I just want to see both these dudes in the AFC North and get hit one time. That's all I want to see. Because Cleveland's a black hole. It's tough. But I mean, Travis going to Cleveland sucks for him. That really does, because I mean, he's a great player, But I just really my big thing with Travis is, like, where is exactly is he gonna play? Because he wants to do that, like, two-way stuff, and that's cool. But until you like run across the middle to get hit by Kyle Hamilton, and then you got to like defend Zay Flett, it's like you can't. I don't know.
That said that the Browns are targeting him as a wide receiver, with the potential to play DB.
Yeah, but I think that's every team right now. But I think they're gonna aim for wide receiver.
Yeah,
but
they're looking at him as a wide receiver.
But yeah, go. Something else, Tosin? That was it.
Nah, that's it.
So I want to throw the Kirk Cousins chaos bomb here, because we've seen rumors of this. Now we've also had Raheem Morris say we have no problem keeping him as a backup, to help out. Who's my man? I forgot this nigga name.
Michael Penix.
Do-rag folks. Yeah, Michael Penix. Dante, to help Dante out with, being a 4-year quarterback. But I'm pretty sure that would drive Kirk Cousins up a wall. We've seen video of Kirk Cousins being in Cleveland. This could be a draft day trade. Courtney, what do you think about the possibility that maybe like we're going to get Travis and we're going to trade for Kirk Cousins? Like you said, the Shedeur thing is stupid. This, to me, is way dumb.
Yeah, again, it's Kirk Cousins. Just again, that's how bad I guess the quarterback market is right now, right? That you're willing to. Another team is, pardon the expression, dumb enough to take the risk on Kirk Cousins at this point in his career. I don't like it. Again, I don't, because the market is so bad. I'm just wondering what they're going to have to give up in order to acquire Kirk Cousins. And I just don't. You're already like one. Actually, they're not even. Yeah, they haven't hit on any quarterbacks. I mean, they should have just given Baker Mayfield more time. But hey, now he's thriving in Tampa Bay. But Yeah, I don't know. I think it's all stupid. I say you just let Kenny Pickett ride this season. You're not going to win anything, so why reach on a quarterback?
I mean, this is what I would do if I was Cleveland. Now, granted, and this is how bad the Cleveland Browns are. That me, a Chicago Bears fan, says it could be worse. That's how bad it is for being a Cleveland Brown fan. Then my ass can say that shit. I'm big on Shedeur. I will always be big on Shedeur until I'm proven wrong. And I could very well be wrong. This nigga could be trash. He could be mid. There's a very, very high possibility of that. For me, I'm taking him number 2. Love Travis. Travis don't mean nothing if you ain't got nobody to throw to him. I don't think that there'll be I wouldn't give up more picks to trade up to get him and Travis. Like you said, Courtney, that don't make no sense to me.
Don't worry. Oh, you can't hear you, Scott.
Did you drop your
don't
mic?
worry. It's Jalen Milroe season, guys.
Because all I heard was.
Oh, so speaking of Jalen Milroe,
I can't hear you. Go on.
Scott got to pay the fine now.
His mic failed. Or some shit happened.
Whoa, that's a fine.
It makes me laugh every time. Every time.
But no, there have been some rumors out there. The Jalen Milroe interview rumors out there. Apparently, a couple of teams have looked at him strongly, said that he'd impressed them. The Jets, I think the Jets name came up. The Browns name came up. Tyler Slow has been somebody that a lot of people have talked about. Like Louis Whittick was talking about how he's somebody that's ready now, and injuries are the only reason why we're not talking about him earlier in the draft because he dealt with some injuries. However, that's somebody that a lot of draft nicks have said that he can go as early as that pick to the Browns, or maybe even the Giants look him as well. So they're going to get a quarterback in the second round. It's just depending on who's that person. So I think that depending on, Kevin Stefanski has proven himself to be a good coach and good with QBs. Like, look what he did with goddamn Flacco when Flacco had to come in. I mean, Freaky Sean is Freaky Sean. They fucked up on that. They admitted that, all of that. But when I look at the Browns, if Kevin Stefanski is who he says he is, then Tyler Slow or Jordan Milroe in the second round, and you get Travis Hunter, that can work out for them. And that could help them out if you have the right person developing the quarterback. And that might give Stefanski, a couple more years, whereas, the ownership said they fucked up on Deshaun Watson. So that should give him a couple of more years anyway. But then if you go get you a Slow or a Milroe in the second round, that should extend that even more.
Yeah. And then
can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I slapped my microphone. That's why I'm good.
I got two things. First of all, I heard Jackson Dart is moving up. So whatever. Second thing is, I was watching Jalen.
I said that a couple of weeks ago. Scott was looking at me crazy.
Yeah,
I was early.
Last year when I was watching Alabama play, I heard them say that Jalen Milroe is getting his master's. I said, I know this nigga Nigerian. When they look it up, ain't no regular football playing get that. First of all, they're not getting a degree. Second of all, you getting your master's? Yeah, you Nigerian as shit. I know that. So when they look at him, they got a Nigerian mom, so that makes perfect sense.
Both of his parents are in the military. Both of them.
Yeah, he got a Nigerian military mother. Of course, he's getting his master's. He's probably gonna get his PhD in the season.
100%. I want to start the local hour now. Real quick. Let's get into it.
It is the local hour. It's the local hour.
There we go. Local hour presented by Sockman on 87th Street. We want really just real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on these niggas. I will say this about the Cubs. This is just a quick question I have for Courtney. I'm actually fake rooting for them for content reasons because outside of Bears topics, it's very rough with the sports in this city. Very, very rough. But I just want to bring up what we saw happen with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. last night. He got the money that he was waiting for. And it's kind of crazy that I look at this contract right here and I was like, I thought it was going to be more. 14 years, $500 million for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He will be staying with the Toronto Blue Jays. But the question I have for you, Courtney, is how much is Kyle Tucker's agent Birdman hand rubbing right now because you've got to be ecstatic because of the way he's been playing. He's already got like 5 home runs already in these first almost 2 weeks already in the season. You can already tell from that very home run hittable part that Wrigley Field is that he's going to have a great season. I feel like the Cubs are asked out here because we all know Scott Boras. Scott Boras is his agent. He don't really do midseason negotiations, especially with a player of this caliber. What do you think the Cubs like? It kind of feels like they're in a lose-lose position because we know that Ricketts is not just going to give him a blank check.
Correct. I don't mean to sound like all doom and gloom. I'm not a Cubs fan. I'm not a Chicago sports fan. So I do not mean any disrespect here. But until proven otherwise, I can't count on the Cubs and I can't count on Tom Ricketts to deliver to the people of Chicago quality free agents. It's like they got Dansby Swanson again, and that was even kind of like a budget deal. Someone remind me how much that deal was again.
It wasn't a lot. He was the Carlos Boozer of the sports market.
Am I tripping?
It was like $100 million.
Yeah, I'm not, and I say budget deal because again, the terms and the intense, athletic position that playing shortstop is in general. I mean, great for Vladdy, right? I know a lot of people are looking at that contract, 14,500. 170. Either way, that's a budget contract considering Dansby. Thank you, Nikhil, producer. Shout out to him. Yeah, that's still a budget contract considering the position that it is. And Dansby Swanson was a quality shortstop when he came in. Is still, in my opinion. But no, Cubs are cooked. And again, they really have more pressing matters right now. Because God, I really feel for y'all. That's a difficult baseball team to watch.
Don't say y'all. Don't say y'all.
The offense. Oh, I'm speaking to the Chicago.
Okay, I was about to say, don't say y'all.
Cubs fans, I really feel for you because it's a brutal watch. No matter how big the lead is, whenever they turn the ball over, there's a couple bright spots. Don't get me wrong. Eminaga, obviously. Matthew Boyd has been a lovely surprise for you guys, but oh my God. As soon as they hand the ball over, listen, I said it at the beginning of the season, I'm very high on Porter Hodge. I still am. But now you see why Houston Astros fans were quite all right with getting rid of Ryan Presley. They called him Ryan Stressley for a reason. It's a brutal experience. That bullpen's atrocious.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm not sorry for Cub fans. Have you heard them assholes talk? Like they talk like they're the fucking Yankees. Like that's what annoys me the most out of Cub fans. Like yeah, I would like for Chicago sports. We have stuff to talk about from that perspective. Yes, but these niggas got one ring and they start talking crazy. Like that's why I have no type of empathy for them whatsoever. I don't care nothing.
Yeah,
about
they got that one ring and their ownership was like done.
And look,
and they were good for the next 100 years.
I said it when it happened. They won in 2016. 2018, Ricketts is like, I ain't paying the fine, Gina. And everybody thought, oh, well, we have another run. You have another shot at ring. You're going to multiply. No, nigga, this is who Chicago sports are. With the exception of the Bears, who spend money, they just usually spend it in the wrong place. These niggas don't spend nothing. So that just didn't shock me. I have no problem with the team. The team's never done nothing to me. But the fans, Cubs fans go to hell. That's why I'm at with it. So I have no type of sympathy for them. But it is going to be a roller coaster watching that bullpen. Because the way they lost to the Padres yesterday, no.
And again, it's inexcusable in a division where literally the entire Brewers rotation is on the injured list. And you could absolutely, and listen, this should have been a clean sweep of the Padres. And I'm not going to totally be just, again, all doom and gloom. They have won every series that they played in sans the Tokyo series, right? Like they've won every series, but good Lord, that's an exhausting team to watch over a 162 game span. Now, that being said, a bullpen is something that can be addressed very easily at the deadline. It's relatively easy to find teams, and find relievers off teams that aren't competitive and be able to slot them in at the deadline to eat 1-2 innings, middle relief. That's easy to do, so to speak. But also, good luck until then, because
good luck.
Fuck.
Good luck. But I got this one Bears topic that I actually want everybody's opinion on, outsiders, Courtney and Tosin, and me and Bang on this. So as we all know, today is like when off-season stuff really starts opening up across the league. I'll be at Alice Hall tomorrow. Guessing we're gonna talk to Caleb, DJ, Ben Johnson. You know the top people to talk to. But I've been thinking more and more about what's on the line for this season here with the Bears, and the pressure that's going into it. And you go to this guy who Ryan Poles, despite the good offseason that he's had so far. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna attribute a lot of that to Ben Johnson too, for having a vision of the guys he wants to bring in and having an actual voice in the front office to say who he wants and have a voice in bringing them over here. A lot of these moves haven't been Ryan Poles-esque, in my opinion. Is we all know he's probably not going to get fired, but I also don't really know depending on the situation. I feel like the Bears have to make the playoffs this year. Like, they don't have to win the division, but they have to at least get a super wild card spot, or if they don't even call it a super wild card anymore. They have to get one of the last seeds, 6 or 7 seed, in order for this to be a successful season. Got year 2, Caleb Williams. You've got the guy who we've been wanting as head coach for the last 2 years, added to the offensive line. Hopefully they have a good draft. And I really feel like, yeah, they say they won't fire Ryan Poles, even though they still won't tell us how long his contract is. Some people say he signed an extension. Some say he got 1 more year. We don't really know. But I feel all that is very pending on how this season ends. If they go out there and have another failure of a season that they had last year, the niggas not making it through the season, in my opinion. They've got to have a very good jump. Because outside of the additions you had here, outside of the year 2 of your generational quarterback that we still gotta hope he is one, and I have a lot of faith that he is, that's gotta improve. You know, some of the guys he drafted, can Jaquan Brisker stay healthy? Can these other guys step up? What's the defense gonna be looking like? What are you gonna do in the draft? If all these questions aren't answered and it's a decrease, or maybe they only win 1 or 2 more games, I think he could be up out here. Bane, what's your thoughts on Ryan Poles' job security we know what the front office is saying now and ownership? Do you think that can change pending on how the season goes?
Everything can change how the season goes. But it feels like to me that they are all on the same page. And I was listening to Kevin Warren with Mike Florio and Chris Sims, and he just kept preaching patience until you don't have it no more. I think the patience is running thin with Eberflus, but I think that after hearing Warren too, that it would have to take a meltdown in order for Ryan Poles to lose his job. Like, it would have to be a complete other disaster in order for that to happen. And I don't think this season is going to be that. Vegas is projecting the Bears at 8.5. That's what the bet is. The over and under bet is 8.5. The division, the other people in the division, for the exception of Green Bay, has went down. Minnesota had 14 wins. They think their over and under is at 9.5.
They're 8.5 too.
Oh yeah, they're 8.5 too. The Lions are at 10.5.
Yep.
So this looks like it's going to be a very competitive division. So they would have to have another 5-12 type season. But if that were to happen, then that means you not only have questions about Ryan Poles, you have questions around Caleb Williams too. Because if you go 5-12, if you shit the bed with this team and Caleb is healthy and he plays all season long, they should win at least 8-9 games. But if you do that shit, he plays all year long and they shit the bed, then this is an organizational failure. This is not just a Ryan Poles. This is a George McCaskey. I said Michael McCaskey on the last show. My bad.
That's 80 of them.
Y'all ain't correcting me either.
It's 80 of them.
Y'all ain't even correct me.
I didn't correct you because it was 80 of them. And I was like, I don't know. He might be talking about one of them niggas.
But George is gone. Mike was gone. So that's what I'm like, damn.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I felt bad.
Like, yeah, that's my fault.
Yeah, but yeah, that's where the issue goes in. If they're not successful this season, this is an organizational failure. Even though you feel like you got the right coach, the coach brought in the right staff that has brought in some good free agents. They've solidified the offensive line. They got the 10th pick in the draft. They got 2 picks in the second round, and they're high picks as well. the stars are aligning. So it will have to take some wild shit in order for that to happen. But if it's an injury-plagued season, then that might cut them some bail too. So it really has to be like Caleb sucks in order for that to happen.
Tosin, as an outsider, what do you think should happen with Bears? Like, a lot of people outside of Bears fandom, Bears media, were wondering what this team do last year. A lot of hype last year, drafting Caleb Williams, drafting Roma Dunze. The niggas was on Hard Knocks, everything, and we fell after London. I was flying high at London, nigga. I was in London taking shots with Bears fans at the pub. I'm having a good time. 4-1, nigga. We finna be good. 2 weeks later, the Hail Mary, and it went, and we won one game for the rest of the year. What do you think needs to happen for the Bears this season before heads start rolling in the front office?
I don't think heads should be rolling anytime soon anyway. I think that you have to be patient. I think in sports in general, fans just want success overnight, and it doesn't happen like that. Like, you got a GM, you got to grow with him, you got to grow with the young quarterback. You have a first-year coach. Like, relax. You're not going to win the Super Bowl in your first year with Ben Johnson as your coach. He needs to be embedded in first. So give it a couple of years before you start letting heads roll. I mean, I'm talking about a place of privilege where I've only had 2 GMs in my life, and one of them is a Hall of Famer.
Must be nice.
Hey, it's a beautiful place to be. But I just think fans need to be patient. Just like generally, like, yo, calm down. Like, you got a quarterback in his second year. He's learning his team. They're learning him, and he's got a new offensive line. Ryan Poles is trying to do the best he can with, knowing where he failed last year. So now it's like, okay, we failed last year. How do we now take a step up and win more games? Because you're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. It's just, unless some kind of freak miraculous shit happens, the Bears aren't going to win the Super Bowl next year. So it's like building blocks to get to that Super Bowl. You give your coach and you give your players the best platform for them to do their best. And that's really it. So that's how I see it. It's like, yo, be patient. Just generally be patient.
Courtney, do you see it the same way?
Absolutely, 100%. I don't see a scenario, unless, like Bang said, where if the Bears have a disastrous season 5-12, and yeah, I don't foresee that happening. I do think Caleb takes a step up with all the trades and everything that you guys made, or the acquisitions you made, I should say. Yeah, I think you guys take a step forward this season. Do I think you make the playoffs? I'm not sure yet. But I don't think he gets fired if you guys don't make the playoffs, if there is some improvement there. Because based on, again, what Bang said, it seems like there's a general understanding, at least, again, from my opinion, of patience, and just be patient, just wait it out, and good things will come to you very soon. But I don't think it's happening this season. And I don't think Ryan Bolt's in this season.
Yeah, I think unless it's like them niggas win 4 games, but like you said, Bang, either one or two reasons that happens. Either they were brutally injured, like Caleb out for the season injured, or this nigga's just like bad. That's the only way I see it end up like that. And I do think they're gonna have patience for him. But having said all of that, I will be at training camp with a damn notepad like, this doesn't look as good to me as I thought it would look. And we gonna overreact about it on the show. DA says in the chat, hey, I'm behind as hell. But as somebody who lost money on 2 draws this weekend, Scott is right. Exactly. Abolish draws in the Premier League.
That's your problem. Y'all some degenerate gamblers. Y'all should never, ever gamble in sports. And that's your problem right there.
I don't gamble, but shout out to our boy Mikey, he's the king gambler. But Courtney, we're going to get you up out of here. We about to get into some real NBA talk on here because the playoffs are getting ready to kick off next week. Anything you want to say before you get up out of here?
Absolutely not. Stanley Cup playoffs start next weekend. Shit's about to get real. Stay locked in. Hockey for Dummies is coming back very soon. Make sure you also tune in to High and Outside for all that premium baseball talk. I can't be giving you everything on this because y'all don't pay for that. But,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hockey for Dummies coming back in about 2 weeks, which is for everybody who not on game or hockey and need to know what's going on in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Courtney got you. So you can follow Courtney at 100 Callabro on all social media platforms. Courtney will holler at you on Friday.
Beautiful.
Right now, we are going to bring in the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Pat Vito, you can bring in right now. He is our NBA correspondent, one half of Hoops and Brews, one of the founders of H&B Media and world-renowned rapper extraordinaire himself. You can follow him at Pavy on all social media platforms. Pav, how you feeling?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. How you?
Doing pretty good. Good day. So that's what I'm at. With NBA regular season is almost over, which I'm very happy about. Let's get to what we really want to see. I've learned the best way to enjoy the NBA: watch the last 30 games and then watch to lock in for the playoffs. That to me is the best way to talk about it, man. But unfortunately, we need to talk about Chicago Bulls basketball. So they have already locked into the play-in next week. Yeah, unfortunately. Or as the NBA, Manchester United, as I want to call them. That's who they are.
You better chill out. Pavy, did you call it that they're gonna make the plan?
Yeah.
He said they're gonna win a play-in game.
No, yeah, they're gonna make their.
He said they're making the playoffs.
They're going to make the playoffs
because he doesn't want to see me happy with the Bulls getting a lottery pick and hopefully getting lucky. That's what that is. But the Bulls are not locked into the 9th seed right now. Them in the heat of battling to see who is going to have home court, like it even matters. But my question here is actually, does this matter? Because if you look at it like this, is it gonna be something where they've been in the play-in the last 3 seasons? They've been in the play-in and have lost each one. I think last year, 2 years ago, they won. They beat Toronto, and they lost to Miami the next week after being up double digits. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it went. And Miami went on to the playoffs, and they actually went to the NBA Finals that year, which is nuts. You can look at it from two ways, in my opinion. You can look at it as we finally have some young talent that's fun to watch. Kobe White is fun to watch. Josh Giddey is fun to watch. Everybody but Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams ain't fun to watch. That nigga need to go watch guard or some shit. But you've got younger talent this time, and you don't have Zach and you don't have DeMar clogging up the lane and making the offense look bad. And that's something that I didn't really think was that big of an issue until I saw the offense look like without. Then you could be on the side now, man, where it's like, look, the young talent's cool, but there's no actual role. Forget the NBA championship of being a contender. That I don't ever think I'm going to see in my actual lifetime anymore. But that's not even a path to being a top 6 team, in my opinion. So what does making the playoffs, winning 2 play-in games, making the playoffs just get dusted by Cleveland or Boston in the first round, does that even matter? Pavy, what do you think? Does it matter for the Bulls if they make the playoffs and get to face Cleveland? Because they'll be the AFC.
I mean, I think it matters. I mean, I think that you have a younger team than what you once had. I think that, I know you disagree, but I think you actually do finally have a direction as an actual franchise as opposed to what you had 1 or 2 years ago, right? You have Kobe White, Josh Giddey. I remember when they made the trade, all y'all was up in arms. I was the one like, yo, I think it's a good deal. Like, you may not even, it was like, oh, they need picks. I'm like, whatever pick you may get may not be a better player than Josh Giddey. I know Oklahoma City traded him, but they traded him because, like, obviously Shea's better and him and Shea don't mix, but that don't mean Giddey can't play basketball. Like, he's poor man's Jason Kidd. That's the way he's been playing. Defensively, no, but offensively, poor man's Jason Kidd. Like, I thought Josh Giddey was going to win Most Improved Player this year, that he was like my pick before the season started. But obviously, Zach was there, and things of that nature. So I think it, and then Matas, Buzelis, like, since they shipped everybody out, he has been incredible. I know people don't know this, but if you looked at mock drafts 2 years ago, Buzelis was the number 1 pick in the draft 2 years ago, and a bunch of mock drafts. And you got him at, what was it? They had the 8th pick last year?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what pick it was, but it was like,
was it
7th, 8th?
7th, 8th. So they stay in 7th or 8th.
Either way, it was like outside of the top 5. You got probably a guy who may end up being, especially when we look at this draft class, may end up being top 3 in this draft class, and you got him outside of the top 5. You still have Vucevic, a veteran. So I think it does matter. I think you want to give the franchise direction. And also, if you do lose and you don't make to play the playoffs. You didn't do enough losing during the season to ensure that you get a top pick. You're gonna get another 12th pick. The problem is, I think they tried to ship everybody out and be bad. They just can't be bad enough. And also, the bottom half of the Eastern Conference is terrible. Like Toronto is terrible. Philly is terrible. Like the teams that they were even vying with, even in like, I don't know, December or January, are just bad. Like Philly just tanked the season. The Raptors just tanked the season. Charlotte, you can't even be as bad as Charlotte is if you want to be as bad as Charlotte. Washington, you can't be that bad. Like the Bulls just have more time than some of the other teams. So, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a good or bad thing, but I think that, again, you do finally have some level of a direction with this squad that you have now.
The chat and our super producer Nikhil telling us that Matas was the 11th pick last year.
Exactly. You got a top 5 talent at pick 11. That doesn't happen too much in the draft.
And he's from Illinois.
Go ahead.
He's from Illinois too, quote unquote. Yeah.
Right. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Wait, what? Tosin, is there any? Well, I tell you, it's hard to talk about these niggas. Like it really is. Like I be trying to look for something positive to say about my favorite basketball team, the team that got me into sports. But you're making it very hard for me. But Tosin, what do you think about some of the young talent on the team? Do you think that maybe if you're thinking from the front office perspective that we're going to try to build around this core, or maybe see who we have in the core, do you think getting some playoff experience will help that?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be battle testers now going to the playoffs. And, like, there's some talent there. Like Pavy was saying, like, you know, you got my test there. Giddey is playing a lot better than I thought he would. I mean, when a trade happened, I wasn't like Pavy. I didn't think he was a good trade, but Giddey's been balling his ass off. So, you know, they've got some talent there. It's now just trying to, you know, put it all together. But, again, this is Chicago basketball. So it's probably going to end up disappointing you somehow, Scott. So it's unfortunate. But, yeah. How's Ayo playing, by the way?
He's injured right now. He's hurt, which I think he could play right now, but I think they tried to fake tank, and then them niggas started winning games. That's what I think happened. It's the Michael Jordan curse. I'm 100% convinced. We said before Pavy came on here, I went to the last 3 championship parades. I thought that's just how life was supposed to be. And I was brought down to reality very quickly. And I have not been back to the promise.
You know what it is? Y'all need cup holders.
Yes. Cup holders. The Bulls will not prosper until they get cup holders in the United Center.
The funniest thing, growing up, I had this banner of like all the I'm aging myself right now, but it's so old that like the 98 championship trophy wasn't on there. It was a banner of like all the Bulls championships. I thought they won every year so much I penciled in 94 and 95. Like I thought that they won. I thought that they won 90. I'm like, yo, what do you mean? Like we win every year.
This is a mess up. Yeah,
I wrote it in. Like, yo, this must be an error. We had to win in 94 and 95.
Yeah.
So I'm with Scott.
That it was. Or what did my man Bill Winnington say on The Last Dance? This is our annual year-end party. That's what I thought life was supposed to be like. And then then Jordan decided to wear big jeans and go buy a race car team, and all my joy got brought out of it. And then I had joy for a little bit with Derrick Rose, and then guy was like, I'm taking his knee. There's enough time for you. So that's enough of that. But Bang, you said that you have envisions of the white big three. Doesn't feel like that's gonna happen. I don't think they're gonna be able to get Cooper Flag. So is there any point of the Bulls making the playoffs yet?
Because of growth. Look, when they got Mattis, I had said that Hinsdale folks, part 1, was a projected number 1 pick before he went to the G League at night. And even still, they was projecting him to be a top 5 pick. A lot of mock drafts said that he would go 5 to Detroit. He ended up going to 11 to us. So you have a in this draft right here. Now, let me also say that this draft might be like that Michael Carter Williams draft, where it's like, yo, who really like good out here?
It ain't that goddamn bad. G, come on, bro.
I don't know. Some people said it was deep.
Wait a minute, Pat. I'm almost there. Let me cook. It's like that draft where you don't have a clear cut rookie of the year, but that rookie of the year might underwhelm you. You look at when Matas played. Billy Donovan, Hall of Fame, Billy Donovan, Hall of Fame coach Billy Donovan, didn't really play him at the beginning of the season. They kind of let him develop. They kind of let him go to they let him go to the G League, get his joints off there and everything. He developed throughout the season. Remember, he wasn't invited originally to the rookie to the All-Star weekend. I forgot who got hurt, but when he got hurt, they put him in there. But ever since Zach LaVine got traded, he's been trending upward. So if you look at the development, and that's why I said the key word here is going to be development. If you look at the development, Coby White has developed into a monster with Billy Donovan. That team, outside of Patrick Williams, has developed. And now that Zach LaVine is not there you see the development working. Like this is the baby Bulls that Jerry Krause wanted. Yeah, like when you look at this is the baby Bulls that Jerry Krause wanted and didn't get. So now you look, and I'll say this again, AK, when he was with Denver, they wasn't drafting lottery like that. They was drafting late lottery, mid first round. So this is what he's used to. He's not used to tanking. Denver was not tanking to get nobody. They were scouting and drafting well. And it looks like that's what they have did. Plus, you now have Billy Donovan, who's been coaching well, who's been grooming well. This team, I'm not saying this team is a championship team. Not saying that. But when you look at the pieces, they could be a highly competitive team the years to come. I'm really excited to see what Coby White is going to do. And all of these rumors about Ja Morant and Zion Williamson, you're going to have to give up Cody White. Man, you're going to have to give him up.
Thank you, Vane, for going to the next topic. Since the Bulls are not going to be able to, probably 9 times out of 10, not going to get the top 2 or top 3 picks to get a star they can build around, should they call Memphis or New Orleans for Zion Williamson or Ja Morant, or as my boy Mikey likes to call him, NBA Ja, NBA, we say NBA boy Morant. That's my question there, because that's actually questions being raised about both of them two. Yeah.
Don't ever put Ja in Chicago. Send that man.
I'm about to say, you want to put Ja in Chicago?
Hold on, y'all ain't let me finish. I was setting it up. So, do you think that obviously Ja off? I imagine this nigga playing on the west side.
No.
He gonna find out some real guns. That ain't gonna be fun.
Look.
Man, how long before the Lord's rock them?
They're not. See, that's what I'm saying. They're not, because from what I've seen on the interwebs, Ja Morant is good with Vice Lords in Memphis. He's good.
He's good.
So if he comes here, it's not gonna do nothing but make it worse. Stay your ass where you at, fam. I can't deny it. I can't confirm it. I just saw it on the internet, looking at some stuff, and was like, why Ja Morant name with Vice Lords? This is crazy to me. So if that's the case, why do I want to bring him here? So he could be kicking it with G Herbo. I'm straight.
NBA young Ja, old block Ja. But see, that's the thing, man. Like, it ain't just them you got to worry about. There might be just other niggas who be trying to extort. On the court, I love it. Off the court, no. So now you got Ja Morant, who loves the streets, and you got Zion. It might be too many Giordano's out here. I don't know. If you
that nigga's at Harold's. Did you see that nigga? Did you see that nigga with that Harold's before he was getting on the plane?
Yeah. I forgot when he played.
Yeah, Gino. Yeah. Shouts out to Gino who had that shit.
Yeah, Gino. Gino was right next to Zion. Zion had a big ignorant order of Harold's, bro. Walking onto the team playing. Them niggas been lost by 10 of the Bulls. So, like, I understand the off-court ramifications for both of them, but I also say in the NBA, you're in hell if you don't have at least a star that you can somewhat do something with. So while I understand that, I would make the call for both of them. Pat, what do you think?
See, Scott, that's why you're not the GM.
Literally.
Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't be the GM.
Literally.
I can't
No,
be
I
the
wouldn't
GM.
call it. No, I wouldn't call about either one. Number one, I don't think number one. Number. To be very honest
He
about
said
Ja.
number one 3 times. That's how I know this nigga serious.
Let's be very honest about Ja. We might be looking at Steve Francis. No disrespect to Steve Francis. Steve Francis.
Hey, man, call in the chat
early
today.
2000s.
What put in the chat? I said Steve Francis,
put
that
in the
nigga to
chat
Orlando
today.
like Steve Francis.
We might be looking at Steve Francis. I'm not gonna lie to you. And also, there's been this misconception because we love how Ja plays and Ja is the engine behind that team doing what it's doing. No, Jaren Jackson is probably the best player on that basketball team. He's the one that's actually won actual awards. He's the one that's been an all-star the past 2 years when Ja been doing whatever the hell. And Zion, we have seen proof from neither one of these guys that these guys are good enough themselves to put you in the playoffs. We ain't seen that from Zion. Zion can't even play 50 games. Now, when Zion is on the basketball court, Zion be balling. The problem with Zion is Zion don't be on the basketball court. And also, having said all of that, the Bulls also don't have enough extra pieces to put together a package to get you one of those guys that you still have people to come play with, right? Like if you, let's say you trade for Zion. Let's say, okay, like, no, put everybody back on the screen. What's the trade for Zion? Kobe White, who else?
Kobe White. I don't even know if it's Kobe White. It might be Josh Giddey. It might be Josh, like a signing trade. It might be Josh.
You
Giddey.
think they go Josh Giddey? Who else?
Oh no, it's more. It's
okay,
more.
Name the people.
Patrick Williams is going to be in there. Couple picks. It's going to be a lot of picks. And yeah, probably Kobe White too. I'm not gonna knock it. It's probably going to be Kobe White too.
So when he come back to play, it's going to be Buzz and Zion.
Yeah.
Oh, we just have a seed.
Well, Lisa, I feel like this.
You might actually be the 12 seed because he's not going to play that many games. Go ahead.
Pav, wait a minute, because Orlando just said it's going to be Vooch. It's going to be Vooch, Giddey, first round pick for Zion in the throw-in. They're going to be the 7th seed until they get to the All-Star break, and then they're going to get fat again because he's around too much food. When Zion Williamson get around corner store restaurants, that's gonna change his life. And fuck Giordano's. When he get around Babas and all them niggas.
No, look, and that's Zion. If the trade is for Ja, it's more.
Yeah.
You know what the problem with Zion?
When that nigga find out what a Vice Lord burger is, it's a wrap.
You know what the problem with Ja is in the NBA? We got too many NBA players with locks. Back in the day, we had Ronaldo Balkman. You knew the niggas with locks were trash. Now, lead the locks for the niggas in the NFL. I'm tired of seeing the NBA players with locks.
Ronaldo Balkman.
Hey, that's a legend. Shout out Ronaldo Balkman.
Ronaldo Balkman, man.
What, he on the
That's a
Knicks?
legend.
He was on the Knicks.
Yeah, he was.
He got drafted. Isaiah Thomas drafting him, and I still remember that draft. Isaiah Thomas drafting him, and the whole crowd was like, "Who the fuck?"
He said anyone but my ties for Ja. Okay, so if we get Father Flager and Jesse Jackson to put hands on Ja, and he's a model citizen.
He ain't listening to them, but he ain't listening to Father Flager, bro. You think the YN listen to Father Flager? We barely listen to Father Flager.
Yo,
Father Flager.
Ja don't even listen to his own dad, bro. What you talking about? His dad.
Ja is his father's father.
Yeah, Ja's dad is a little homie. Ja's a big homie.
I'm trying to imagine Ja at a giveaway in Saint Sabina, and they're like, "We gonna put our hands on our brother Demetrius right now."
Ja gonna find out about Bevy. Get him some finessed by some Southside Queen.
Yeah, he's gonna be Tim Anderson 2.0.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Yo, have y'all heard Tim Anderson talk since he left the White Sox? He talks like a dejected man. Like, he let 63rd women ruin him. Like, that's the worst part. Like, this nigga is on the Angels minor league team. But it said Ja is only 12 years older than Ja. Ja's dad only 12 years older than Ja. Yeah, it's like that. What was that movie with Marlon Wayans, Sean Wayans? Sean Wayans, he was like the father. That's what
Little Man.
Little Man. that's who T Moran is, man. But we're gonna take a quick 1 minute break. On the other side, we're gonna talk about the 2025 Basketball Hall of Fame. We're gonna talk about the Lakers' big win last night at Oklahoma City, if that means anything, and we're going to predict how the final seeding was a crazy week. Seeds 4 through 8 in the Western Conference all have the same record. We're going to talk about how that finishes out in just 1 minute here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
By the way, I don't know, Pete. We about 1 year away from Tosin cussing me out the next Arsenal Manchester City match. I made Manchester United joke. This nigga almost called me out my name. We're very close. We're very close to that. But
I'm a child of God. I don't do that no more.
I was like, yeah, they like the Bulls are like Manchester United. He's like, you better watch your mouth, nigga. But shout out in the chat. He says Zion come to the crib, you're gonna be Lavelle Crawford. And you're right, Orlando. That it was Don't Be a Menace. That's what it was. It was Don't Be a Menace. That's what it was. But let's talk about this basketball Hall of Fame, man. Class came in today of what the class is going to be for this year. It is Carmelo Anthony. It is Dwight Howard. It is Sue Bird. It is Maya Moore, Sylvia Fowles, Danny Crawford, referee Danny Crawford. The Redeem Team is going to the Hall of Fame. Chicago Bulls coach Billy Donovan and Miami Heat owner Mickey Arison. One thing that stood out to me, a couple things that stood out to me. One, they must have changed the requirements for how early they put players in because Carmelo just retired like 2 years ago. And so that they must have changed that. I thought it was like a 5-year thing. I don't know what the requirements are. Either way, big shout out to Melo. First ballot. Rough day for all the internet idiots who said that Melo wasn't a Hall of Famer and that Dwight Howard wasn't a Hall of Famer. I was more happy for Dwight than I was for Melo, just because to me, Melo's obviously a no-brainer. Like, I don't even know what that was a conversation, but too many people have been talking down on Dwight Howard's name because Shaq wants y'all to think that this nigga was a bum. Dwight Howard, one of the greatest centers of all time. Dwight Howard took his team to the NBA Finals, beat LeBron. Remember the MV puppets with LeBron and Kobe, that whole playoff run leading up to the NBA Finals? Everybody swore it was going to be that. Kobe made it. LeBron didn't because he let Hito Turkoglu act like he was Michael Jordan for 6 whole games. That was just something you see just how dominant. It did happen. He was Turkish Jordan for an entire series. I've never – they would have got swept if it wasn't for that miraculous game 2 shot. Like, this nigga, he knew. Y'all, some of y'all might be young. He was calling ISO on these niggas.
He was wild.
Like, it was nasty.
That was the team that had Rafer Alston on, right? Rafer Alston, Tony Batty.
He was wilding so hard. He got $80 million the next summer. In 2008, in 09, that's a bunch of money, bro.
That's JJ Redick was on that team. They went to the NBA Finals that year. And
Tyronn Lue and Rashard Lewis.
Rashard Lewis. You want to put niggas who in the Get a Bag Hall of Fame? Rashard Lewis is on there. He got paid everywhere, man.
2K legend, by the way.
Big shout out. 2K legend. I used to go crazy with Rashard Lewis.
Hey, look, you put Rashard Lewis in the NBA today, that man is getting at least 25 a night. Just easy.
You get
or he be Jabari Smith.
You said what, Pavy?
Or he be Jabari Smith.
That line between Jabari Smith and $200 million contract. Rashard Lewis. But shout out to Dwight. Very, very happy for Dwight. Melo, man. I remember Melo playing at Syracuse, bro. Now his son is going to say, okay, I'm not saying that out loud. Yo, we got to put Orlando on timeout for making comments. He put one ridiculous comment per show. But Melo, obviously awesome. I really want to know what Denver's going to do with the jersey retirement thing. Like, are they just going to say, fuck Melo's time here, we were retiring Jokic? You can't retire both of them. Like, I mean, I think it's going to act like Melo never happened.
When they gave Jokic number 15, we should have known what they were saying anyway. So there's that. And also,
Right.
by the way, for no reason, fuck George Karl. I have no rhyme or reason for saying that, but just fuck George Karl.
Oh yeah, George Karl, somebody you got to say that about. George Karl is not a good human being. Like when you hear Michael Jordan wanted to say he wanted to fight this nigga because he ain't say hi to him at a steakhouse before the '96 finals. He was like, we said we Carolina. You supposed to say what up to me? He said I took that personally. But shout out to Melo. Pavy, do you think the Knicks gonna retire his number? Because they can take a long with retiring Knicks numbers. And should he get it retired? That's a better question.
I say you. I say
like, you want to peel down a curtain away? Should he get retired?
He's gonna get his jersey retired because of what he means to New York City. Having said that, Jalen Brunson has already had a better Knicks career than Carmelo Anthony had.
I 100% agree with that. 100% agree. I don't even think that's debatable.
Having said that, he should not get his jersey retired as a Knick, but he's gonna get his jersey retired because of what he means. Like if you talk to anybody who grew up in New York who is our age, they swear by Melo. So like what he means for New York, like he's gonna get his jersey retired for what he means. And again, what he brought to that franchise. Like we remember, bro, like after Patrick Ewing, the Knicks had nothing for like basically the better part of a decade, really. What he brought, like the energy he brought back to that city, he deserves his jersey retired just for that alone. Having said all of that, just do this Hall of Fame class, like it's crazy. Like they must have lowered the retirement, like the thing, because like Melo's just stopped playing, Dwight just stopped playing, Sue Bird just stopped playing.
Sue Bird stopped what, like 2 years ago?
Sylvia Fowles just stopped playing 2 years ago. Like I remember covering Sylvia Fowles and Sue Bird. Like I remember that, like my first 2 or 3 years covering the WNBA. But as far as just a class in general, I think this is one of the better classes in recent memory. And yeah, man, shout out Melo. And I'm with you. I'm really happy for Dwight. I'm happy for Dwight because I think Melo has universal love, but I think Dwight gets hated for off the court things that have nothing to do with
goofy nigga, but they ain't got nothing to do with any.
He gets he's a goofy, yes. Yeah.
But you're not doing anything wrong with that.
We're not gonna say anything else other than that. He gets hated for off the court things, and I think his off the court antics have allowed people to cloud his judgment on who he was as a basketball player.
Yeah.
For the better part of a decade, he was undoubtedly the best center in the NBA. He's probably a top 10 center of all time. He won DPOY 4 times in a row. He was a force. He was a freak. At that point in time, we hadn't seen anything like. At that point in time, we hadn't seen anything like Dwight Howard. And yes,
he just couldn't say first player of the year.
And yes, he took his team to the finals. And we don't remember because it was a 4-1 series. But if Derek Fisher don't hit that damn shot,
yes,
that series is a lot closer
100%.
than what people think it is. If Derek Fisher misses that shot,
it's a 2-1.
We don't know what it's a 2-1 series.
Yeah, 2-1
series. And we don't know what happens. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out everybody who made the Hall of Fame class, and shout out Billy Donovan. I think that people probably look at it and be like, "Why?"
And that's what I wanted to say about that too.
The back-to-back championships that he made at Florida. Also, he did coach the Thunder. They did win mad games. Like he's also he's probably one of the most successful. Is it wrong to say he's one of the most successful college NBA coaches?
No, he's not. He was killing it. He's one of the few people to have success. And
what's wrong with Orlando?
Will Taiwan retire Dwight Jersey? Well, yeah, he's one of the few people to have success in college and also have success in the pros. Also, like I said, shout out to Maya Moore. She won a lot of championships with the Minnesota Lynx. Chicago Sky legend Sylvia Fowles, the Redeem Team. This makes me feel old because I remember when Team USA was getting worked by Carlos Arroyo, nigga. When niggas was popping the Puerto Rican jerseys, and I was like, oh. Dream Team days are open. The Redeem Team came and set the tone to see those guys in there. Mickey Arison, he just looks like he always does coke. He probably does. He owns Miami Heat. I'm pretty sure he probably does coke. Allegedly. And Danny Crawford. Look, only thing I know about Danny Crawford is that Tim Duncan hates this nigga. But I don't feel the referees should make the Hall of Fame. Maybe that's just me. I don't feel referees should make the Hall of Fame. But Tosin, what do you think about this draft? This Hall of Fame class.
It's amazing. First of all, Billy Donovan coached Al Horford, Torian Green, Corey Boer, and Joakim Noah. Yeah, they won back-to-back national championships. So that's somebody who I remember vividly. Maya Moore is a legend. I kind of wish we got to see more of her in the WNBA, but still, her legacy solidified. Same with Sue Bird.
With an inmate.
Who hasn't?
Found love. Well, Memphis Bleak said on backstage, she found love. She's not the same person anymore. That's what happened.
Yeah. Shout out to Carmelo, Baltimore's finest.
Baltimore
New York,
legend. Thank you for saying that. Baltimore legend.
Y'all not gonna claim him in New York. He got a big WB in his arm, and that's West Baltimore. Okay, I know exactly where that nigga from. But yeah, I mean it's beautiful, and yeah, Dwight Howard, like he's, because he's so goofy, like we said, like people forget, like Dwight Howard was that nigga. Like he was incredible. And ask French Montana how good he was. French Montana told y'all what he was. So, that he was that guy. So I'm happy for Dwight Howard that he, is getting love. He should have been the NBA 75, honestly.
Yes,
but
yeah.
I'm not gonna say Damian Lillard, but like, some people shouldn't have been in there, but that's neither
I don't think it's Damian Lillard. I think it was Anthony Davis. But that's who that Packer fan shouldn't have been on the top 75. I ain't got a problem with Dame.
The 08 team, back to the 08 team. I think that 08 team changed a lot of people's careers. Like, it made a lot of people much better players than they were. Like LeBron took that next level. Wade took, like a lot of them took, like they learned from Kobe. Like that story about them coming home from like a party at like 5 a.m. and they see this nigga Kobe going to the gym. You're like, oh, this nigga is psychopath. And they all just changed up, except for Melo, because Melo didn't give a fuck. But
yeah, Melo said, I'm not waking up before him. Imagine you come back from like a club in Vegas. You
come back from Dre's and you see Kobe. What are you doing? We're gonna win. What are you doing?
This nigga Kobe just ready to hoop at 5 a.m. These niggas.
And I love how Kobe said he wasn't gonna do Dream Team if KG and Paul Pierce was on the team because they just lost to the Celtics. He said he's gonna call out. He was gonna step out like, no, I'm not reporting. And I think 100% believe him.
That's the first time they ever really saw a real psychopath. Because, like, those Kobe stories is like nobody ever told. Kobe never ever told his stories. Everybody else told the stories about how crazy Kobe was. Yeah. And then they found out the hard way, like, oh, this nigga is actually a psychopath. So yeah, that team was insane.
Bang! I saw your eyes lit up when I said that referees shouldn't make the Hall of Fame. What do you think about this?
In the Hall of Fame.
What they got contributors in the Hall of Fame.
You said Tyson Chandler?
Tyson Chandler was on the 08 team.
He was.
Oh shit! Well, yeah. Well, then that means Christian Laettner is in the Hall of Fame too because he's on the Dream Team.
Yeah. So here's the requirements. A player must be fully retired for 4 seasons before being eligible for enshrinement. She may be considered for enshrinement in the 5th year. Should a player come out of retirement for a short period of time as defined by the Basketball Hall of Fame, his or her case of eligibility for enshrinement may be reviewed for an individual basis. Coach must be either fully retired or for 4 full seasons, or if still an active coach, have coached either full-time assistant or head coach or on the high school, college, professional level for a minimum of 25 years. That person will be considered for enshrinement in the 6th year of retirement or 26th year of active coaching. A referee must be retired for 4 full seasons, and if still active, must be an active referee for a minimum of 25 years. That person will be considered for retirement for the 26th year. A contributor, a person considered for enshrinement as a contributor at any time must be for significant contributions in the game of basketball. What constitute as a significant contribution shall be determined by the Basketball Hall of Fame. That's why I believe Yao Ming is in as a contributor. He got injured early, boom, contributor. And that's why I think Derrick Rose is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, because I could see him getting in as a contributor because of his.
Nah, don't put that nigga in.
No, that's just
wait.
Nah, bro.
Nah, don't do that.
Nah.
Wait.
I'd rather he may not make it.
Wait. Okay. There's been people like y'all that they get hurt and everything, and they are who they are, because we know Derrick Rose.
Y'all didn't win the MVP.
Y'all did not win the MVP at all.
I'm just saying.
Y'all's all-star appearances are because he's from China.
I'm not trying to debate. I'm just saying, if they say 3 years ain't enough, but the contributor is that's how some niggas got in. This was not supposed to be a Derrick Rose debate. I'm just letting y'all know.
You can't bring up one of the greatest GDs of all time, and I think we're not gonna have a debate.
Hey man, y'all have that debate. I'm not. All I'm saying is these how some niggas get in the Hall of Fame, because if they can't get in as a player because of certain reasons, the impact of them is probably going to get in. With that being said, Carmelo been retired for four full seasons.
Yeah, he retired in
2023.
It was 4.
He retired in 2023.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
I didn't even know Dwight ever retired.
He
was forced out retired when the
but
Lakers
no, you got to
didn't bring
put
him
papers
back.
in.
Yeah, I didn't even know he retired. Nigga was
Well, I remember
you
Melo
gotta put papers in.
retired, but yeah, I don't know because that's weird because Kobe wasn't even 5 years. He was on the 2020 class. He went in 2021 because of COVID, but he wasn't even 5 years. Or you said it was 4?
4 full seasons.
Okay, well, yeah. All right, 4 full seasons. Well, yeah, all right, well, yeah, that makes sense. Was D Wade
now?
When D Wade won the Hall of Fame 2 years ago?
Last year.
Okay, that was 5 years. All right.
So the reason why I said that, because I'm about to bring up my argument again.
Okay.
There's some players that should not have to wait if it's 4 full seasons. There's some players that shouldn't have to wait 4 full seasons. There's some coaches that shouldn't have to wait 4 full seasons. We could have the conversation about referees and shit all day long. I don't know how you judge a referee as a Hall of Famer. Contributor, I don't know how you do that either. That's the reason why I brought up the Derrick Rose. Not the debate, but how do you qualify that? What is that? But for coaches and players, Michael Jordan shouldn't have to wait 4 full seasons. Hockey does this the best. When Wayne Gretzky retired, them niggas was like, put him in. When Mario Lemieux retired, they was like, go put him in. Why are we waiting for some people? Yeah. Is Carmelo? So this is what I'm asking you all. If the Hall of Fame was by that, like you get like players and sports writers together, and you consider if this person should go in earlier. Yeah, like you as soon as you put your papers in, bye. With that being said, would Carmelo Anthony be that player? Like,
no, Melo got to wait.
Okay, that's all I want to ask. Does Melo have to wait?
I'm gonna disagree because this is the basketball, not the NBA Hall of Fame.
That's what I'm talking.
Yeah. So like Melo is Mr. Olympics. I mean, KD came around, right? Obviously, but Melo was Mr. Olympics, right? So if we're going, the basketball Hall of Fame is so easy to get in. I know, Pav. I know. I'm being devil's advocate. But
Pav wants glory around the Hall of Fame. Me too, because Al Horford's gonna get in. I'm gonna throw something, but he's gonna get in.
That. LeBron can get in first day. When LeBron retires, LeBron should get in first day. When Kobe retired, Kobe should have. Tim Duncan first day. Kevin
Steph
Garnett,
Curry too.
Steph Curry first day. Yeah. Kevin Durant first day. Melo Noji. You gotta wait. Guys.
What about? Do y'all think Draymond's gonna make the Hall of Fame?
Yes,
100%.
First ballot.
Yeah. First ballot. Yeah.
He can't get in first day. He can't get in first day. He gotta wait. He can't get in first day. He gotta wait. But he can get.
Okay, I'll say this: Melo ain't a first day nigga, but he next day. He's not. He 24 hours later.
Like, yo, that's wildly disrespectful. I'm not gonna hold this shit.
He's not the first day, but he's like, all right, we gonna sleep on it, then we gonna invite that nigga over the next day. And
this nigga say he not overnight shipping. This nigga a couple of days shipping.
Right? Yeah. You know, you go to FedEx.
2 days. 2 days. 2 days shipping.
He 2 days shipping, and I love Melo.
Orlando, I got a take about Kyle Lowry. That's the greatest.
Kyle Lowry's getting in, unfortunately.
That's the greatest Toronto.
Go ahead. I'm ready for you to say it. Go ahead.
You're right.
Kyle Lowry's the greatest Toronto Raptor, by the way. I don't want to hear nothing else.
You're right. He is. Unfortunately.
You know what? You know why I say that?
Wrong.
You know why I say that?
Why?
I dated a girl who's a Toronto Raptor fan. I got to understand the Kyle Lowry lore. I understand it. He is the best.
So who's loved the most? Is Kyle Lowry loved the most out of all Raptors?
It's Vince Carter, but it's VC. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's Vince. Yeah. But Kyle Lowry is the greatest Raptor. Yeah. People want to say DeMar DeRozan. Go ahead.
So that's why I want to bring that up. Because I think we could have a conversation all day long about people being in the Hall of Fame. But it's just certain players that I don't feel like they need to wait. And we look at the 4-year requirement, look at some of the people that retired and got like, I don't think Dwight Howard had to wait. I don't think that Melo had to wait. I don't think that Sue Bird had to wait. I don't think that Sylvia Foles had to wait. I think we put so much emphasis on being the first ballot Hall of Famer that we need to, first of all, so we're not in situations where it just so happens why we might lose somebody because nobody knows the day or the time. This is also, again, why I think hockey gets it right. You know goddamn well Wayne Gretzky is a Hall of Famer. Why are we waiting 4 years to do a ceremony? So what? He came back twice. He's an NHL Hall of Famer on the goddamn ice. So when it comes, go ahead.
I was saying, you bring up a good point because the morbid part, if Kobe would have got in right away, Kobe would have had a speech.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But then also, there's just people that you don't have to wait. Like I said, hockey, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux. 2 best players of all time when they leave. Why the fuck is we waiting? Michael Jordan shouldn't have to wait. Larry Bird and goddamn Magic Johnson shouldn't have to wait. Matter of fact, and y'all might correct me if I'm wrong, but you can get in the Golf Hall of Fame while playing if you hit benchmarks, correct?
I have not the slightest idea. You gotta ask Dante.
brother.
Yeah.
I think, ask Dante, but I think you could get in the Hall of Fame if you hit certain benchmarks. Fam, look at some of these players. Them motherfuckers hit them goddamn benchmarks and then got to sit there and wait 4 years. Now, are there people that might have a debate of should they be one of those people in that what Deion Sanders would call like the upper ring, the penthouse of the Hall of Fame? Yeah. Could Carmelo Anthony be in that debate because of his NBA career? Yeah. But there's some players out after them. There's some players that would be first ballot Hall of Famers if other niggas was going early, since sometimes in Hall of Fames, it's requirement that only a certain amount of people can go in. Tom Brady shouldn't have to wait on that shit. But if Tom Brady shouldn't have to wait on that shit, and since there's a certain amount of people that go in the Hall of Fame in 1 year, then Eli Manning comes in his first ballot because somebody like Tom is already there. Just like, even though they didn't go in at the same time, just using that as an example. It's just some people that don't have to wait.
I think the greatest example of justice was Eli Manning not being the first ballot Hall of Famer. I was going to be very irate if he was first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, we know he gonna get in because his last name is Manning, and he called the Holy Ghost for 2 playoffs. But enough of the Eli Manning stuff. But I agree with you on that point, man. Let's move on to the Lakers. Last night, the Lakers got a very decisive win, winning by 27 points last night, 126-99 over Oklahoma City Thunder. Luka Doncic poured in 30 points. This game really wasn't close after midway through the second quarter. By the way, amazing job, NBA, for having these 2 matchups both be on NBA TV when it should have been on a national channel when the majority of people could have watched this game. But a lot of people wondering, is this a massive statement put out by the Lakers? The Lakers are, unless they completely screw the pooch this week, are going to be the 3rd seed, which I don't think anybody thought at the beginning of the season was going to happen. A lot of people thought this team was going to be bottom playing like they've been the last couple of years. But getting Luka Doncic, got to give love to JJ Redick. I thought he's done really, really good in this first year, and I thought this was a terrible signing to begin the year. They've been going up and down defensively. Sometimes they look great, sometimes they look good. But I might sound like a head-in. I took nothing from last night's win, and this is why. The Thunder haven't had anything to play for about 2 months, to be completely honest. They pretty much got the number one. They've got the number 1 seed in the West already clinched. They pretty much got the number 1 seed in the NBA already laid down. They're going to rest Donovan Mitchell for the rest of the week to rest that ankle up for the playoff start next weekend. So they pretty much got that all locked up. This is not really a game that they've had circled on their schedule. The Lakers needed this. The Lakers wanted to show that they can go up here and they can smack up a team on this caliber. But if you look at the shooting percentages, they were shooting like 70% from the field in the first half. They shot over 50% from 3. If they're going to be shooting like that, then yeah, the Oklahoma City Thunder might have a problem. But as I said on Twitter a couple of days ago, like I've been saying on the show for the last couple of weeks, they're going to have to rely on their shooting a lot. And I just don't think this team is going to be as effective shooting come playoff time in a 7-game series where stuff is game plan. Your biggest weaknesses are magnified, where everybody's going to be able to figure it out. What's as good as JJ Redick has been? This is his first postseason. What's he going to be like? What's his adjustments going to be like? But I do think the Lakers sent the message as in, nigga, we not scared of y'all. Which, if you got a person like LeBron James, 4 NBA championships, been more NBA finals than we can count. Luka Doncic was just in the NBA finals last year, and Luka Doncic beat the Oklahoma City Thunder last year. So I think if anything, this should be a kind of a wake-up call to the Thunder to, okay, it's time for you to get in the form before the playoffs start. Now, I don't know if the Lakers are going to play their starters on Tuesday against the Thunder in the second of the little home-and-home series because they have the first leg of a back-to-back, and they've got Dallas the next night, which we know that Luka's going to want to play that one. I don't know if they're going to 100% play their starters, but if they do, I want to see how OKC is going to respond to getting smacked up and all the talking that's been said since that. But overall, I'm not pushing the panic alarm on OKC. I've still got them coming out the NBA Finals. But if anything, I do believe the Lakers probably told them, like, hey, don't be sleeping on us. But I wouldn't take anything too much from this game. Pav, what do you think about OKC really just looking flat yesterday, the Lakers' performance? And do you think this means anything in the grand scheme of things, if these two may meet the playoffs?
Yes, but no, but yes. I do think Oklahoma City has had some. But I think if I'm not mistaken, they've lost 2 straight games. They lost to the Rockets, I think, and they also lost to the Lakers. I think they've had some. I don't want to say alarming losses. I'm not going to say it's an alarming loss when you won what. At this point, they've won 64 games. They'll probably be a 65-win basketball team. I mean, at like a certain point in time, you just want to be healthy for the playoffs. I will say that even last year in the playoffs, and you saw it, I think, in the Lakers game, when it's like, yeah, Shea be doing Shea stuff, but the other people don't be coming along with him sometimes. Like Jalen Williams was not present. I think that's more of a, like, I'm not really worried about Shea, but I think the others are a more alarming thing than like anything that goes on with Shea. As far as the Lakers, I mean, yeah, dope victory. Like, I mean, they needed one. As far as the Warriors game, like Luka needed that game yesterday. Luka, since he has been in LA, has not been good. Let's be completely honest about this. He has not been that. I think he shot lower than 40% a lot of times. I don't know what.
I said bold take here, but you're not wrong.
Like he shot under 40% a lot of times. He don't guard nobody. So like if you're not being absolutely dynamic offensively and you don't guard anybody, what are you actually doing? So he needed that game. Literally losing weight on the court, running up and down the court, trying to lose weight. If you're not literally going out there and being dynamic, if you're not guarding nobody. So I don't think it was a huge overreaction. I do think it was, again, a good victory for the Lakers. Austin Reeves has been playing incredible basketball. LeBron still being LeBron. He's doing a great job of picking his spots and turning it on when he needs to turn it on. Because now you finally have somebody else who can really handle the ball and initiate the offense. And Bron doesn't have to do it all. You also have Austin Reeves who can do kind of the same thing as well. So I don't think it was an extremely big deal. But I do think if I'm OKC, I'm worried about some of the other guys that aren't named Shea.
Bang, you said that. Oh, my bad. Tosin, you go ahead.
He's gonna say like what's it called? Asian Duke Dennis too. We gotta watch out for him. He needs to step up. He looked just like Duke Dennis. I'm sorry.
He does look like Duke Dennis. Tosin, do you have any thoughts on is there any overreacting from this game?
Not really. I mean, everyone's just kind of, getting ready for the playoffs. I mean, the Warriors got slapped up by the Rockets, and you see them laughing, Draymond and Steph laughing. So they're at this point where it's like, all right, let's get to the playoffs. But the Thunder, I did read something when they're like their record against like the team, they got losing record against the teams in the playoffs. Basically, I'm not gonna break down each one, but like they basically got a losing record against the Western playoffs. So there's a little bit of cause for alarm, but like Pavy said, they got to step up. It just can't be Shea versus everybody else. So we'll see, because when the playoffs come around, that's when you know who's real and who's not. And we know who's experienced in the playoffs and who's not. So we'll see next week or the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, Steph and Draymond were laughing yesterday. That was very funny as they held Steph to 3 points. We're gonna get the Rockets in just 1 minute, but bang, you were saying that it could be a Lakers Warriors Western Conference Finals on Friday. Did last night's match ring any alarm for you with the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Not the fuck at all. It's the last couple of games of the NBA season right now. It's just a lot of conversations and shit. Like, still at the end of the day, you have to game plan for a motherfucker for at least 4 games. And in fact, we don't even know if that's going to be the matchup in the first place. The way this is going down, like you had shared the screenshot in the chat, and I'm like, man, like somebody can lose and just fall all the way out. Some can, like, it's not even set in stone, but last night did not do that. If I let a game in the last couple of games of the NBA season confuse me on what to go with a team, then a lot of people that I thought would have won the championship wouldn't have won the championship. It's you caught them at a good moment. I think the Lakers shot 65% for 3. That's not gonna happen in the playoffs in the 4-game series. It's not gonna happen for 4 straight games. It's not. So, and it's not gonna be a lot of games that you see Shea not go to the free throw line or go to the free throw line often. That's another thing too. So it's just good game planning towards the end of the season. But then are these teams gonna play each other in the first round? No. So you're going to have to go through game planning against this team just to hope. And then this team might have made some changes. I think a lot of people are just making too much into one game, not realizing everything else around it.
If you want to know how much soccer I've been watching, I just called that game a match. But moving on. The Los Angeles Clippers. Like, I think we all collectively stopped paying attention to the Clippers to begin this season, and they are quietly doing their thing. I know we're gonna get into the standings in a minute, but Nikhil, can you bring the Western Conference standings up? I wanted to tie this into the Clippers real quick. So Kawhi Leonard won Western Conference Player of the Week this week. Had a real great week. Had his first back-to-back all season. But as you see the 4 through 8 standings. Now, in a minute, we're going to predict how we think everything finishes. But if this stays the way it stays right now, do you know that because of tiebreakers, well, they all have the same record. My bad, not stay the way it is right now, but they all finish with the same record. Because of tiebreakers, the Los Angeles Clippers will stay at 5. The Minnesota Timberwolves will jump to 4. The Golden State Warriors will stay where they're at. And the Denver Nuggets drop to 7. Because of the tiebreakers that the Clippers have. But the Clippers also have a chance to be the 4th seed. Who would have ever thought that the Clippers would have home court to begin this series? To begin this season. James Harden had this like the only time I've seen in a long time where James Harden isn't getting killed for what he does. James Harden's having a good year. Norman Powell is backing up. Balling out. My question is, 1, is Kawhi Leonard back this time for real? And 2, should we be thinking about the Clippers a little bit more here? Because me personally, I'm not betting on it because I'm done betting on the Clippers as a nigga that covered them for 3 seasons. We all know they'll have a great year, and then the Kawhi wake up with mysterious injury on game 2. Pat, what do you think about what you've seen from the Clippers, and could they be a sneaky team rolling into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I think what it comes down to the Clippers is I know we enjoy what James Harden is doing, but look at his field goal percentage. It's like 39-40%. Like, he's not shooting well. Obviously, he's passing the ball well. He's James Harden, does what he does, which is the reason why Zubac is having the best year of his career. But that defense is a real thing. Like, Jeff Van Gundy and Ty Lue, they've done a great job with that team defensively. Obviously, Norman Powell stepping up, having a good year on the offensive end. But that defense is a real thing. Chris Dunn. You still got Kawhi out there again, and Kawhi is month by month. Kawhi looks better, right? I think they did a good job taking their time with him this season, coming off injury. Like, they didn't really rush him back. Like, you know, it also was no pressure. Like, they didn't really give a date that he was returning. So people didn't like, oh, when's Kawhi's coming back? Like, there was really no date on his return. He just popped up one day and started playing. They did a good job not rushing him back. And yeah, man, like, if the thing we say about the Clippers every single year is if they're healthy, they're going to be a problem. I'm going to say it again. If they're healthy, they're going to be a problem. Like, if Kawhi Leonard is going to be Kawhi Leonard, You have a top 5 player in the NBA. If you have a top 5 player in the NBA, you got a chance. Would I pick them to make a finals run? No. Do I think they can make a first, second round series very, very, extremely, extremely tough for somebody? Yes, I do. I would not be lining up to play the Clippers if I was anybody. So yeah, like I said, I just want to commend Ty Lue and the job that Jeff Van Gundy has done with the squad. And yeah, I wouldn't be lining up to play the Clippers right now. Not me.
Tosin, what's your Clippers thoughts?
They're gonna be fine. I mean, they're looking good. Like Pav said, like I'm glad that they got Kawhi back healthy, because Kawhi is another one that's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I'm just really excited for the playoffs, because when Batum starts fucking up, we can start saying, "Why the fuck's Batum in?" So I'm excited to say that. Exactly. Ben Simmons actually looks like he can play basketball again. So they figured out some stuff over there. So Ben Simmons has been good for them. But yeah, they got a solid squad. They've done a really, really good job of figuring out their roster. And I do love I do love James Harden basically calling out Paul George, saying that, hey, listen, we know what the issues were last year. Certain personnel people, like, he didn't want to say what he wanted to say, but we knew what he was trying to say. So
this sorry nigga with a podcast mic is what he wanted to say.
And on the court as well, James Harden's shoes are probably the best ones, him and Ants. Because I saw the Hardens the other day, I was like, I might have to get a pair. They really look good. So that's another thing I noticed too.
Also, yes, you're right, because I remember saying for years I thought the Clippers were too redundant at the forward position. Like, you bring in Kawhi, when they had Kawhi, PG, and Marcus Morris, they all play the same position. You don't need all of them on the court. So I think the Paul George things was addition by subtract. Like, Norman Powell's giving you what PG gave you last year.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
it actually might be better. Before he got hurt, it might have been better. I'm not gonna hold you. So like,
yeah. Bang. Any thoughts on when we finally get a healthy Clippers run?
I believe that shit when I see it. Like, this is definitely one of those things I got to see this shit, because it was Marcus Morris that was on First Take last week, right?
Yeah.
One of them Morris.
Well, Markieff is on the Lakers, right? So
okay, so it was Morris. So Morris was on First Take, and he said that he believed that the Lakers are going to the NBA Finals. But then he said the second team that he think could go to the finals wasn't OKC, it was the Clippers. So I was like, okay. I started checking out. I started looking. I was like, okay, it seems to me like everybody is healthy. James Harden is doing this thing. Kawhi is healthy. Norm Powell is still not dipped and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, all right, whatever. But then I'm like, it's right around time for Kyrie. It's right around time for Kawhi to be like, yo, I hurt my back and I'm going to be out for the foreseeable future. Like, we at that time. So we got like 4 games left. If we get through 4 games without him all of a sudden saying, I can't play, then maybe I'll believe it. But that's got to happen.
I can't even say that, because Pat, we remember when he put his foot up in the Suns in game 1 like 2 years ago, and then this nigga does not play for the rest of the playoffs, and we had to pull up there and watch Paul George get cooked by the Phoenix Suns. We remember that. So the whole playoffs have to end, honestly. It has to end, and he has to have a healthy run. Like, well, look at that. They lost, but Kawhi played. Like, that's when I remember before a play-in game, I got an emailer, Paul George has COVID. He's not planning to play today. Like, we've had this multiple times. So if I was a Clippers fan, I would definitely be on edge right now, because anything can happen with them. I want to talk about, before we actually got, I was going to bring up the Rockets, but no, let's talk about the standings here. So I want to kind of predict how we think 4 through 8 is going to end up. Nikhil, bring up the games for each team for the remainder of the week. So the Lakers, like I said, Lakers got the Thunder on Tuesday. They got at Dallas, which is going to be a big game. Luka finally returned to Dallas. Rockets and Blazers. They still got a chance to trip up on themselves, but they're up a game and a half on Denver. Denver's lost 4 in a row, and Michael Malone said they don't know how long Jamal Murray is going to be out with that hamstring injury. So unless they completely mess up, I think the Lakers are going to finish at the 3rd seed. So then you got 4 through 8. Nuggets got Kings, Grizzlies at Rockets. Clippers, Spurs, Rockets at Kings, at Warriors at Suns, Spurs at Blazers, final at the Clippers. Timberwolves at Bucks, at Grizzlies, Nets, Jazz, Grizzlies, at Hornets, T-Wolves, at Nuggets, and Mavericks. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to say I believe that the Warriors are going to end up with the 4th seed. I think if you look at this schedule they got, they lost last night. I think they're pretty motivated to finish with the home court. I'm going to put the Warriors in number 4. I'm going to say that the Timberwolves find their not Timberwolves. I'm gonna give the Nuggets enough faith. I'm gonna put the Nuggets at 5. Nuggets at 5. I'm gonna have the T-Wolves at 7. I think the Clippers finish. The T-Wolves at 6. The Clippers finish at 7, and I think the Grizzlies stay where they at. That's out there. I don't like where this Grizzlies train is going at all. Pav, how do you see this shaping up for you?
I agree with you on the Warriors being 4th. Can you put the games back up if you don't mind? I agree with the Warriors being 4th. I think the Warriors could realistically win out. Realistically, I think they could get to 51 games and actually win out. I'm with you on the Nuggets dropping down to 5. I think Clippers 6 is fair, and I think the T-Wolves and Grizzlies kind of. Well, I don't know because the T-Wolves schedule was the Bucks game. I think it's a winnable game. The Grizzlies game will be a very, very great game, and then the Nets and Jazz
Thursday on TNT.
Yeah, and then like Nets and Jazz to end the season. That should be 2 penciled in wins. Because why am I even trying to win a basketball game if I'm the Nets and Jazz? And I wish you on the Grizzlies staying where they at. I just don't like what's going on in Memphis. I think they're like falling into the playoffs instead of like going in the playoffs. So that would be where I would rank the teams personally.
Do you think that the Lakers are going to trip up, or do you think they should keep 3rd?
They have a very tough end to the season.
Yeah.
Like playing the Thunder again, playing the Mavericks. I'm assuming AD will play. I'm assuming AD will be very motivated to play against his former team. And again, when AD is on the court in Dallas, he's very good. When he's on the court there, he's been balling. The problem is he ain't been on the court, but when he's there, he's good. The Rockets game is tough. And the Blazers have been playing really, really, people aren't paying attention, but the Blazers have been playing really, really good basketball recently. Lakers have a tough schedule, but I think they can take at least 2 of those games to get to 50 wins.
And the Blazers just gave their GM a contract extension today as well.
I think they can.
Tosin,
for sure.
Yeah, Tosin, how you see this shaking out?
I mean, the Warriors, I can see them in 4th too. It's just like I think everything's gonna stay the same. It's just like I said, the Grizzlies gonna be 8th. 7th is between the Clippers and the T-Wolves. Like depends on how they show up, like who shows up for both teams. I would never trust Rudy Gobert, so just is what it is. Great defender. I just don't trust them personally. And the Grizzlies, like we said, they just drunk. And I think the Warriors.
I'm ready for that team to break up, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and the Warriors tasted their own blood yesterday, so they realized like, oh, we got to step up sometimes. So yeah, that's that.
The Warriors are 20-3 with Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler in the lineup. Bang, take us home on this one. How you think this shakes out?
It better be the Warriors. They got the weakest schedule by far on this. So it has to be the Warriors that's there. And maybe we see a Warriors Nuggets or Warriors Clippers series. I think the Grizzlies fucked themselves by making the change the way that they made the change. So this is the easy out right here. So it's like, all right, go ahead and get that out the way. If as far as I'm OKC, I mean, that might be the I might love that series because this is the series that's probably going to have to Ja's going to have to prove who he is. Like that could be him getting, even though he loses to the better team, get himself back in order in front of the world. So I think I'm pulling more for a Grizzlies Thunder one for that reason. Seeing him versus SGA in the team.
Yeah, man. It should be an interesting final week of the season. We got 2 more topics before we wrap up today's episode. My question for y'all, man, we just talking about the Warriors losing. They lost to the Houston Rockets last night. The Houston Rockets are firmly in the 2nd seed right now. They've got 52 wins right now. They have been on a run. They've really been coached really well by that coach, Ime Udoka. He's been done a great job since the situation in Boston, which depending on who you ask, we still don't know what happened there yet. Jalen Green's been doing well. Our man Thompson, he locked down Steph Curry last night. My question to y'all, because for me, I think right matchup, it depends on how that's gonna go. If they can face a Minnesota in the first round. Now, granted, Minnesota's had the up and down season, but they do have more playoff experience. And obviously, I trust Anthony Edwards in the playoffs more than Jalen Green, because obviously we haven't seen Jalen Green in the playoffs. Are we sleeping on the Houston Rockets? Like, can they be a sleeper and maybe a team that can shake some stuff up from these potential matchups that we see, Pav? I know you've been, kind of big on the Rockets, at least early in the season. What do you think they can do come playoff time?
I think it depends on matchup. Like if they can get let's say they can get the Clippers, Harden's gonna get hogtied. They're gonna hogtie Harden. And at that point, it comes down to what can.
I don't know how to hogtie
people.
Why would I hogtie?
That's gonna be amen. Who would I hogtie? Then it comes down to like, okay, what can Kawhi do? So I do think it depends on matchup, right? Like I think if they can get a Minnesota. I'm not sure what the regular season record is for Rockets in Minnesota, but I am sure that every game they play is very contested. Like it's never an easy matchup either way. Because again, I think that defense is real. I think A-Man is a special defender. I think he's the guy who's going to be in defensive player of the year conversation for the next 8 years. So I think that defense, and you also have Dylan Brooks. No matter what you want to say about Dylan Brooks, bro, but Dylan Brooks, he's been on winning teams, bro. Wherever he go, the teams happen to win. So whatever he be doing, like I guess it be working. And you got Şengün, like who is baby Jokic. He's a poor man's Jokic. So I think the Rockets is a real thing. And I know that we look at them like they're young, but I don't think this is a squad that has to lose first round. Like I think this is the team that, depending upon matchup, they can win and get to the second round. And once you get to the second round, we'll see what happens.
I don't know if anybody here outside of me has been to Houston, but Toyota Center is in the most random spot. You saw I forgot you was with me. But yeah, it's in the most random. All three of their stadiums in the most random spots ever. But Tosin, what you think about the Rockets?
First of all, Ime is a great coach. Okay, that freaky Nigerian uncle is a hell of a coach. We saw it in Boston, and he came to Houston, and they're the second seed. That's incredible. Second of all, y'all know what Amen and Oscar's middle name is?
No.
Excellence, but not excellence. It was XLNC. That's both their middle names. Swear to God. Yeah.
That's the most nigga middle name I ever heard in my life.
I swear to God. Literally look it up right now. XLNC is both their middle name. They got the same middle name. But anyway, when I was watching, I've been watching him a lot this year. Him and his brother are XL bullies. Like that's how they play basketball. Just like two dogs, especially Amen. It's like, yo, why are you running around like this all game? So they're really talented
that's
team.
Really and it's capitalized too.
Yeah, all cap locks. Yeah. But those two brothers are just dogs. Like they literally, and he fits Houston very well. And they defend very well. They got, Dylan Brooks, like we said, he always wants to fight somebody, but he's showing up every single night. And quiet as kept, Fred VanVleet is showing up for them as well. So they got experience. They got Fred VanVleet, NBA champion. They got actual leaders on their team. People's been there and done that. So they have a culture there of just like, okay, we're serious now. And then they got rid of Daryl Morey, so they don't really have, that guy there anymore. They actually have a serious team around them. So yeah, they look good. I'm not, I would not want to face the Rockets in the playoffs for 4 games. So trying to win 4 games against them. You won't sweat a lot. Like we said, if they play the Clippers, James Harden's gonna have the most high intensity training he's ever had in his life. He's gonna be running. He's gonna be skinny by the end of that series.
And then he's gonna go to his own restaurant in the club when they get eliminated, because that's his city. Bang, what you think about the Rockets, man? Do you like their chances in the playoffs or no?
I like their chances because nobody's talking about them. Like when you look at Oklahoma City, you have all that young talent on there, right? And the amount of games that they lost in these last 2 seasons, the pressure's on them. So it's really up to some young cats to build that up. When you go over to Houston, you have a nice amount of young cats and OG vets. You got a nice amount of scorers and some defensive hounds. And Ime Udoka might be the best coach in the NBA. He just might. So when you look at all of those things and the fact that nobody talking about them, They talking about OKC. They talking about John Morant. They talking about LA. They talking about Denver. They talking about Golden State. They are, between them and Portland, they are the least talked about, to me, playoff teams or possible playoff teams. And the fact that they sit where they sit right now, they don't have any pressure. And that's the last thing you want that team with a person like Dylan Brooks, who loves to play when there's like no pressure, no expectations. We could probably sneak one out. Hey, I would not be surprised if they go to the NBA Finals.
Okay.
Well. That's like, wait, hold on now.
I wouldn't. I'm not saying that they are. I said I would not be surprised.
A lot of chip on that chip. Okay.
No, because I think there's too many close, especially in the second round. There's too many close matchups, and there's a whole lot of going on where we off, and you might not see us again. So if a OKC is taken out, a Lakers are taken out, they could get up in there with the right thing going on. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised, for me specifically, if one of the top 5 teams in this Western Conference playoff go. And they're going to be one of the 5. I still don't expect it because I already picked OKC to go. But between 1 through 5, I wouldn't be shocked if any of them go to the finals, especially if a team take an L.
You want to see an angry Adam Silver, let LeBron James, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and possibly Steph Curry be home early. You'll see an angry.
Did you watch the Celtics documentary?
Yeah, I've been watching it. The new one ain't out yet.
You saw how disappointed they asked when they had to play Houston.
Oh yeah, last week's episode. Yeah.
yeah. Like,
that nigga, what was it? Emil Carr was like, yeah, we won, but we wanted some revenge. We didn't really feel like that was the NBA Finals. So, I'm looking forward to. Go ahead, my bad.
Before we switch topics, just randomly, I saw something right now. Stephen A. Smith basically said he wouldn't mind running for president in 2028. By the way, so
at this point, fuck it.
At this, you see the nigga we got in here right now. Like,
at this point,
I saw somebody ranting on Pablo Torre's show tomorrow. He's not qualified. Oh, we ignoring what's going on currently? Like, nigga, I can run president. Like, who cares? Nigga, like, can you talk? Okay, then you can be president of the United States. Like,
I just want to see him against JD Vance. I know we brought this up last time, but he's just gonna talk about his mom. Like, your mama was on crack. That's what you gonna say.
Best debates ever.
Ever. You're not winning a debate against him. You're not winning. You're not a Trump, Stephen A. Smith debate. You're not winning. It would be like the greatest television program of all time.
It will have the best ratings ever, bro.
Ever.
And people who not watching it, they gonna tune in when they see Twitter talking about it.
And they both two New Yorkers, old New York dudes too. And you know they gonna talk crazy about each other. We should get what's it called to be the special host, Eric Adams.
You're a commentator. You're a commentator. You're a commentator. Are you serious? Are you serious? Nuts.
That nigga Trump grabbed Mookie by his forearm today. I still can't get over that. But and bang, you talking about the Celtics thing, which is a perfect segue. The part 5 of the Celtics documentary comes out tonight. Is they're gonna get ready to lie to me for an hour about how Len Bias would have been the best player in all time in the 90s if he didn't OD.
Len Bias, who was on crack.
Who was on crack? Still the most wild TV thing ever I've ever seen was the first scene of Snowfall season 4, where they redid that they want to convince me that Len Bias died by smoking Franklin Saint's crack. Most insane start to a season.
That's really the
yes. Watch the opening scene of season 4 of Snowfall. Len Bias smoked Franklin Saint's crack.
The wildest shit about Len Bias dying, right? Like, is the fact that he didn't smoke. It wasn't crack. It was powder. And then what happens when he died? Like, that's when it was like, oh, crack is bad. Like that shit. Like that ruined everything. Man.
That changed all the rules. Like, and
all the drug laws.
And that's how they brought it into Snowfall, because that's what made Leon want to stop selling drugs. And Franklin was like, no, nigga, double down. Like that's what. Yeah, I know you ain't gonna watch the season. Just look up that first scene. They took some random tall nigga smoking crack in the first scene.
Len didn't even smoke crack, bro. He snorted cocaine.
And then after that, the next scene is Franklin landing in a helicopter in the Pacific Palisades, nigga. Is a king drug lord.
Yo, like, then Leon turned into Nas from Belly.
He did. Yo, we gotta expand our mind, brother. That nigga went to Ghana for 2 episodes. They shot that in the valley, nigga. They was not in Ghana. But speaking of the Celtics, we up here talking about
making the valley look like Ghana is fucking hilarious, bro.
Niggas making the valley look
like Ghana is fucking hilarious, bro. That's Ghana in the 80s.
Ghana in the 80s. But we talking about all these teams that can potentially do this and that and that. But all we just really wasting our time because the Boston Celtics about to still watch everybody. Because I think this team is better than they were last year. Cosplay Kobe looks aggressive. Everything now complaining about Jason Tatum, he's been doing this shit. And I think that he really didn't like the. I didn't think that he cared about what people said about him in the finals. That Jalen Brown's better player, which is a lie. I think he's mad about the Olympics. I think he is, even though at the end of the day, you think I got 3 Hall of Famers. Jason Tatum's a great player. I'm not sitting you when the fate of America's on the line. I'm putting Kevin Durant in there. I feel like he really took that and just took it to another level. He's been hooping. This team looks like they finally got the monkey off the bat, which Bang said on this show a year ago. We had the homie Black Trey on here. He told Trey, look, I don't know if I have faith in them winning this year, but if they win one, they're going to roll off another. I think this team is going to roll through the East. I know Cleveland's great, and I'm not respecting Cleveland. I'm giving Cleveland a lot more love than I really thought I would. They're a really great team. I think Boston is going to beat them in 5. I think they're going to get to the NBA Finals, and they finna dust everybody, and we finna see a repeat. Bang, I'm going to go to you first because you won't said this a year ago. Do you think that all this talk we having don't even matter because they about to repeat?
Yeah, they about to repeat. I mean, I don't think it's going to be an easy 3-peat, but they're going to and when they get to the West, depending on what they play, shout out to the Lakers and Boston Celtics NBA Finals. David Stern
Adam Silver wants that.
David Stern made the call from wherever he's at right now.
In hell.
But no, I said it on this show, and I'll say it again on this show. I said again on this show. They win 1, they're gonna win 3. And even when I look at this team right now, even with some of the improvements that other teams can make, I don't see a team beating them this year. I don't see a team beating them next year. They're going to get their 3 in a row. And I think in learning in the documentary that the Boston Celtics have not won 3 in a row since back in yesteryear. So the Russell year. So they win this year, they win the next year. And they're gonna have to connect it to some players again, like Voltron, to stop them because they're still young and they're still growing. This is a scary team.
Yeah, especially when they trade KP and Drew to Phoenix for Kevin Durant. But that's neither here nor there. We've heard those rumors. Pat, what you think about it? Do you think that they're gonna repeat this year? Does anybody even have a chance of knocking them off?
I mean, yeah, I said the same thing. I think if you remember, I don't know what show I was on, but I said I think that this could be a team that could 3-peat. Carl looked at me crazy. I'm like, yo, no, if they win, like you got 2 guys who are still in their 20s, like I think they're in their mid-20s, not even late 20s, in their primes, and you got another group of solid role players, and even the role players aren't that old. I think the only people over 30 for real are like Drew Holiday and Al Horford. Everybody else is like 30 and under, or like turning 30. So like these guys still have some time left. Do I think it will come without consequence? No. I think that even like a team like the Knicks, the Knicks are built to deal with them. Now, granted, Jalen Brunson got to be healthy and some other things, but like the Knicks are built to just even from their wing positions. OG and Mikal can definitely offer some resistance for Tatum and Brown. And even the Cavaliers, like I like the fact that they can just play differently than what the Celtics will play, right? Like I think they're more inside out, and I think that the Celtics obviously are more like just outside. They just swing the ball around and shoot threes. So I don't think it'll come without contest, but I would if I was a betting man, I would still put my money like did this whole season. I said I would still put my money on Boston to come out of the East and probably win the championship. And again, they're gonna have a 60-win season. We've done all this talking and saying like they fly on the radar and they're gonna win 60 games this year. So yeah, I would still pick Boston.
And do we know if Jalen Brunson's alive? Like I've heard nothing about him when he's turning.
Apparently he's coming back soon.
I thought he came back last night.
Yeah, he came back yesterday, I think.
Oh, he played last night?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he played yesterday.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. That went under the radar. Okay, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Tosin, what you think about the Celtics this year? Like, you repeat or no?
Yeah. I mean, to Pavy, by the way, Al Horford, Drew Holiday, Torrey Craig, and Derek White are all 30 plus.
Torrey Craig don't count.
That's Chicago Bulls legend.
Hey, put some respect on Mr. Megan Thee Stallion.
I didn't even know he was in the league. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah,
I didn't know till Megan Thee Stallion started coming to Bulls games. I was like, oh, okay, he's in the league.
Yeah. I just think, first of all, that coach is a psychopath. Joe Mazzulla is the sort of person that, like, I remember Jason was on the podcast with the Kelsey brothers, and he was just like, why don't you run into me like the way Travis ran into Andy Reid? I want to fight you. It's like, yo, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like,
he did
your coach is missing a whole lot of brain cells.
Joe Mazzulla, I think he's in the cult. I think he's somebody that grew up in the cult or used to be in the cult. He's weird.
Nah, he's just biracial. That's all that is. That's all that is. The Italian side is fighting the black side every day. You can see it in his face. He just got a whole lot of mixes going on. That's all that shit is. But nah, like seriously, they are a very, very talented team, man. And Jason and Jalen are both locked in. Jalen said something so funny on the podcast with the dudes from Philly from why am I $1 million worth of game? He basically talking about the parlay. He was talking about the parlay dudes. It's like, listen, y'all run up on me, I'm gonna fuck you up. That's basically what he said.
He did say that.
Yeah, but they're super locked in right now. Like they're a special team, and the thing that is crazy about them, everybody can shoot on that team. Like you don't want to leave anybody open. They all can shoot from anywhere on that team, and I think Jason's finally realizing, like, yo, I am that guy. And Bill Simmons said something last week that was really, really impressed about Jason. Like, Jason doesn't miss. Like, he's their leader, right? He's effectively the de facto leader. And he doesn't miss games. So when your leader is the one that's, like, never missing games, he's never checking out, and he's always playing. Like, there was a point where, like, Jason wanted to play in the injury, and the coach was like, nah, just sit down. Just like, no, I want to play. So Deuce's dad is stepping up, and it's cool. So, yeah.
Maybe by the end of the year, we'll do the Colin Cowherd exercise again and say, close your eyes. What do you think about Jason Tatum? Maybe Deuce won't be the first thing to come to mind. Maybe that nigga balled out in the playoffs, man. So that is all we've got for y'all on this edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Thanks to Pav and Tosin for joining us like they do on Mondays. Our NBA content is about to turn up because at this time next week, we're going to be previewing the play-in tournament. And the play-in tournament starts in 8 days from now, man. So we appreciate everybody for watching. Wednesday, the Patreon show. Subscribe to the Patreon so you can check out the Wednesday show. I'll be, getting ready to talk about all the midweek things, and we'll talk about my first Champions League experience. I'll be watching that game tomorrow. We'll see what that comes out to. I don't think it's gonna be a good one, but we'll see how that happens. But Tosin, let them know where they can follow you. Everything you got going on.
Just follow Shirtless Plantain Show everywhere. I'm not that fun on social anymore, man. I'm an old man, so just follow Shirtless Plantain Show everywhere on all socials.
Yo, your man's who y'all did the pod with yesterday, I wish I had the same hate. Well, he had my Aaron Rodgers hate for
Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne on Man City. He was like,
he's just an angry Nigerian from London. That's all he is.
I was like, that's real sports hate.
Yeah, he an Arsenal fan too, so he got a lot of hate in his heart. He got nothing but bile. He's gonna be in the stadium tomorrow. Actually, he's gonna watch the game from the stadium tomorrow.
Oh, he gonna be turned up in there. He said, "I'm glad he's an average footballer. I can feel the hate." That's how I feel when I look at Aaron Rodgers. Somebody asked me today, like, would you rather? I was like, nigga, if somebody put a gun in my head, it was like, walk around with a MAGA hat or wear Green Bay Packers jersey. Throw me that red hat, nigga. Like, what you talking about? Like, it's not even a conversation. Pav, you got an album coming out soon. Yeah, this is gonna be a busy month for you. Let them know where to follow you, everything you got going on.
Yeah, man, I got a project coming out really, really soon. I'm very excited about that. Happy to get it out to the people. It's been a long time coming. But you can follow me everywhere at Pavy World, PAVY World, all one word. That's everywhere on the internet. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Bang, man, let them know y'all got a new episode of First Black Champ out, right? The title of this week's episode had me double take. I read it like 7 o'clock in the morning. I was like, oh, nigga, like, tell them what that was about.
Yeah, man. We are on the road to WrestleMania. And Tiffany Stratton, SmackDown Women's Champion, and Charlotte Flair, they was going back and forth a couple of weeks ago. Charlotte kind of was a little bogus, right?
A little bogus.
She didn't follow the script. So Tiffy got her back and talked about how she was crying on Tamron Hall, and how she 0 for 3 in marriages and shit and walked out the ring. So because them bitches was tweaking, we called this episode Girls Gone Wild. So check out that. We talk about that in the episode. Plus, also, we decided to let AI pick the 64 greatest wrestlers of all time and put it in a March Madness style bracket. We go through the bracket and we announce the final 4. Also, we talk about that. So y'all check out the latest episode of First Black Champ right here on Barbershop Network. Me and my man Camp from the Port.
Definitely, man. We will have summer sessions this week. Last week, I didn't time my schedule right, but we will have summer sessions this week. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but as usual, we will find something to talk about. But, yeah, follow me at Barber Chair Scott, all social media platforms. Follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on all social media platforms. Of course, follow our partners, H&B Media, and at H&B Media TV on Twitter/X, and follow them at H&B Media on Instagram. And like I just said, subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. Man, we got 4 different tiers, but you should subscribe to the $5 I'm not going to hold you tier so you can get a new episode. We're doing 3 episodes a week now. On Wednesday, it's mainly just me. I'll be breaking down all the midweek headlines, and we're gonna be doing long form interviews. Man, did a nice interview last week with the homie Russ Dorsey of Apple TV's Friday Night Baseball. I got the homie Wise joining me soon, man. We're gonna have some real good NBA talk on there as well, man. So you can subscribe to that or the $10 holler that is the Barber's Chair access fee, so you can get everything on the Barber's Chair Patreon, man. And if you subscribe to both those tiers, you get 25% off your first order on the Barber's Chair Network merchandise shop. That is the bcnetshop.com. We've got a special Bears Caleb Williams shirt dropping on draft week. Look out for that, man. So also, I'm not gonna hold you draft special. It's like the 3rd annual. I won't be sick this time like I was last year and couldn't speak on a special. So we gonna do this one properly this year, man. I'm also gonna talk about the Bears on Wednesday because tomorrow I will be at Hallis Hall for the first time in the 2025 season. All season, not all season, but new season workouts beginning. Probably gonna holler at Caleb Williams, gonna holler at DJ Moore, Ben Johnson. What's gonna be the word on the street? I'm gonna give y'all my updates from everything that goes on at Hallis Hall tomorrow, man. So y'all enjoy the national championship tonight. I don't even know who in the game because I ain't been watching, but y'all enjoy the game, and we gonna holler at y'all on Wednesday and Friday this week. We up out of here.